Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen. Your day is back. Wow, good afternoon. How are you? Man, I am good. I feel so good. I got read the obituaries. My name wasn't in it. Life was good. I just came back from Japan and cabs up all and I had no clue what time zone we're in. So we act a little goofy and we're drinking coffee at night and wanting milk in the morning. You'll understand, we just haven't quite got that balance back just yet. Man, am I glad to see you guys. I really mean that. Here at the home of passion. The home of one of the most incredibly passionate, wonderful people that ever walked the face of the earth. Because he was passionate, he loved people. He gave away 50% of everything he ever earned. He was left homeless when he was a child, and they repossessed the house that they bought for $500 because they couldn't make the payments on it. And such an incredible heritage. I mean, all you have to say is Elvis, and it says everything. You might not be an Elvis fan. I'm a music fan. Anybody with passion like that. You think about this, guys. This is also the home of a guy named Fred Smith. And they told him in college that his idea wouldn't work. He got a C on his paper on FedEx. Said it would not work. There was another guy that worked at the university. And interestingly enough, he was a custodian. He did custodial work, all right? And he was so good, they decided to give him a raise. And they gave him a raise, and they decided to put him in charge of the custodial work of this university. Interestingly enough, unfortunately, they brought him in to sign the contract, and he said, well, I'm sorry, I would sign the contract, but I can't read and I can't write, so I'll just have to put my X. And I said, wait a minute, you don't read, you don't write? How could you possibly be in charge of all the janitorial people in this university if you can't read and write, man? That's not going to work, and they declined his position. So he had to quit another job. He started cleaning houses and banks, and he started a service master.
Wow.
And this is their home as well. If you've never heard of Service Master. This is Memphis, the home of blues. This is the home of music. Golly. Man, I in fact started my heritage an hour and a half south of here in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And I come up here and we probably sold so much cookware in Memphis and Jackson and up here, it's unbelievable because the folks up here cook. And I'd like to give a hand to this incredible lunch staff, if I could, please. Honey, that was wonderful lunch. That was true barbecue. And they have more of it out there. We have a lot of folks that are on a 2 o'clock flight that are going to still be here, and Sam and Sal, and on, the Monets, et cetera, et cetera. So we hate that they're going to miss lunch, so we're going to try to save them a little bit of lunch if at all possible. I'd like to start everything out with something else that's very important about Memphis. It's a very spiritual area. It doesn't matter what your spirit is. Last week we were in Japan where everybody was Buddhist. And Buddhist was formed not as a religion, but as a philosophy of love and caring. It was the most incredible experience Cav and so Paul and I have ever had in our life. Has anyone here been to Japan by any chance to tour Japan? It's the most remarkable culture I've ever seen or experienced. And they have their spirit, we have our spirit. And it doesn't matter what you believe, as long as you believe, and that's what's most important to me. And I asked Mr. Reggie if he would be kind enough to ask the blessing of our lunch, which you already eaten, and our conference here for the next 3 days. And Reggie, if you'd be kind enough, sir, I would appreciate it immensely if he has a minister. He's from right up the road here, about 3.5 hours. His amazing wife, Holly, and Mr. Reginald Bergeron.
Bergeron. And then what part of the country you're in. Let's just pray and give thanks. Father, I thank you for this beautiful venue. We're already hearing so much Christmas music and decoration. Lord, we just want to step back a few days and just linger around Thanksgiving. God, just give you thanks for everyone that's arrived here, all the thousands and thousands of miles that have been traveled this year, the hundreds, thousands of people we've interacted with and influenced, friendships we've made, for protecting our family, for your provision, your blessing, financially, spiritually, health-wise. We have so much to be thankful for. And probably most of all, God, for Jesus Christ, your Son, which Christmas is really what they were here to celebrate. And Lord, I pray that as we spend these few days here, God, you would give us encouragement for those that need that inspiration, renewed passion and zeal for life, for the careers you've blessed us with, the honor to serve in this way and to make a living. God, we just thank you, thank you, thank you. Let this be the best, most encouraging conference we've ever had. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Bravo. Wow. Yeah, let's give God a hand. You know, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter who, as long as you do. And I'm so happy to be with all of you who are kind and loving you. You would not be in this business, because you could not make it in this business if you don't love people. And I tell you what, this is so gracious of all of you that came, and you're at least half of the folks that work with us that are here for this conference to learn more and gain more. And again, we have about a dozen more that's on their way. We've got Kate Reed, who's walking in the back there. Hey, Kate. Everybody say hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
And I'm going to be introducing all of you, but I wanted to first of all introduce our amazing staff that's here to help us. And I can have all of them stand up, please. The staff that's here that's put all this together and made it happen. Hours, days, weeks, and months just to try to put together a little 3-day conference, because we got to find out what do you need and how do we deliver it to you. Well, we have over here Sherry. If you don't know Sherry, she is our office manager and my personal manager. And she's my brain. She kind of keeps me going, and she's amazing. And I'm going to be sharing with you a book called Message to Garcia. She is my new Garcia, okay? Then there's my incredible sister, Robin, who is the same. And her and Shannon Miller's creativity came up with our things for our awards tonight, and the centerpieces and the little cars and the candy and all the fun stuff. Little stuff that makes a big difference, you know? And then Loria Crumbaker. Gotta be good. This is Loria from the recruiting party. Yay. Somebody came back for the first time, and she's doing a phenomenal job of finding the new talent that we need to keep this amazing American manufacturing journey going, because it's not an easy project. Kate Reed is our West Coast manager also, I might add, and she does our training, etc., etc. This is Kate's 19th year?
I believe. I'm confused.
Pardon? Oh, no, actually, I think it's her 20th year. I met Kate about 20 years ago at the Puyallup Fair. She was walking across, and her sister is David and Rebecca Mons. Rebecca's her sister, who are, of course, legends in the industry as well. And Kate is a legend and been in the $1 Million Club, and we're thrilled to death to have her here and as a trainer. And she worked with her son, Mark, for those who've been around for a while. She works independently now and does a phenomenal job. We sure appreciate you being here, Kate. The one and only world-famous, incredible, incomparable Leslie Scott, yes, our scheduling well, she's the one in charge of your life, in charge of your family, and in charge of your shows, in charge of everything. She does a phenomenal job. We sure appreciate it. This is her 15th year. She's been with our company putting together schedules, and that's just really, really cool, and we really appreciate you immensely, my dear, okay? And then we had a wow man, Mike Wow. Everybody say hi, Mike. Everyone knows Mike. This is Mike's 20th year. First time I met Mike when I moved to Florida 33 years ago to retire, something like that. Yes, be quiet, Mr. Rockwell. Anyhow, my son and Mike were the same age, and all I know is I had some guests over the house, and I heard this great big boom, and then water come flushing out of the toilets and out of the sinks and everything else. And then I saw 3 little characters go across the back of the yard. Now, Cash Coleman should not hear this, but no, it's okay. They put a pipe bomb in the city sewer. That was Mike Reichman, so I'd watch him real close. He's fairly dangerous. Coleman, he got you covered, man. Your son already had your lunch for you. Sorry about that. They saved you some lunch, I promise you. And Brittany Kurtzman, Brittany, say hi, Brittany. Brittany has been, how long have you known Brittany? 9 years. Brittany is our IT, creative, working on social media. She does anything and everything. She's primarily worked very closely with Brian. Brian's on his way. He'll be here shortly. I think he's on the 2 o'clock flight, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have our company coach with us. Company coach, Mr. Incredible, Incomparable, Tim Martin. Stand up, Tim. Videographer, you name it, Tim does it, and we sure appreciate you, Tim, and all the hard work you put into communicating, connecting with these people. I'd like to have everyone introduce themselves. We're going to just pass around, if you don't mind. I'm going to give you the microphone. I know you guys are shy and bashful. You're not used to using a microphone. But I want to tell you something. For those who were here earlier, how many times did I do a sound check? Brittany? A lot. A lot. It's got to be right. Do you understand that you are performers? If there's anything worse than all of a sudden they can barely hear you and you think you're going to be able to make a point, you can't make a point because they can't hear you. They've got to hear you. Then you have to enunciate. And you have to be able to make certain there's not too much bass, where you sound like you're in a box, not too much. Reggie, you've been there. And all these things that are necessary for everything to work together. It's the same thing with all of you working together as a team and a mutual effort here. So when you introduce yourself, what I basically want you to do is to say, gee, I'm such and such, and I'm from such and such. So we can know where you're from, and if you don't mind, kind of if you're a rookie, or if you've been here for 10 years or 15 years, whatever the case might be. And Reggie, if I can start with you guys, I'm going to just pass it around, okay? Stand up, Holly, you're part of this team.
Hi, my name is Reggie Bergeron. This is Holly, my wife. We live in Branson, Missouri, and we are veterans of a lot of things and rookies with kitchen craft, and we're excited to be here.
Dan Glauser from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and this is my second full year, 2.5 years total.
Wait a minute. There's prerequisites have to be here. He has 8 children that his wife homeschools. That's amazing.
You're applauding her, by the way.
Even though I have 8 children. My name is Alan Kirkman. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I've been training with the wonderful Nicholas Castellano.
Yeah, he was trained by Nicholas and rocking and rolling. By the way, in Alabama, they don't sell cookware. They sell cookware. There's no K. Cookware. Mr. Martin.
Hey guys, I'm Tim, and I live in a trailer. It's a really nice trailer, though. I've been in the company about 8 years now, and based out of Mount Dora, Florida, where Mr. Dave lives. And happy to be here, guys. It's great to see everybody. It's like coming home every year. You guys are awesome. There you go.
Thank you, Tim. Definitely great in a trailer, yeah. Have you seen this trailer? Oh, yeah. God, it looks like a movie star coming to town or something, you know. It's just amazing. And what an amazing thing that they've done. For a year and a half, they've taken off across the country and explored with their family and homeschooled. And he has now 7 kids. No, he's got 2. But what an education they're getting. I guarantee it's just totally amazing. Oh my goodness, there's Mr. and Mrs. McVeigh. Mr. Rodwell was our Rookie of the Year 20 years ago and got distracted, and he's back with the company, and thank you. Yes, sir. Introduce yourself, sir.
I'm David Rodwell from the great state of North Carolina. I brought my wife with me, Lynn. She was the distraction 20 years ago. And so we dated in '69, got married in 2005. Oh, and I'm a rookie.
It's a long courtship.
Takes him a long time, doesn't it?
Hi, I'm Cheryl. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I've been with the company for approximately 5.5 years. If Tim sleeps on the couch, in your trailer, I sleep on the couch, so because I travel a lot, and so now I'm getting married. On 1919, this is Robert, my fiance, my financial planner. For you that has 8 children, I suggest we get with you for sure. Just teasing. But I've been with the company a while, so there you go. Oh wow.
Is that the guy you married?
Yes, Robert. Robert, I introduced him.
This is Robert, everybody. Okay, make him feel welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ted Brosey, and I've been with the company for 21 years. This lovely lady is my wife, Brenda. She's been with me in every show, every day for those 21 years. It's amazing, and we absolutely love this business. We're so excited to be here, and so many new faces. Can't wait to get to know you, meet you, and have a great time together. We're all going to learn a lot.
Thank you, Ted and Brenda. 21 years ago, I got to train these guys, and they're just amazing. Don't be bashful, Mr. and Mrs. Monet. Come in all the way from Salt Lake City. Everybody say hi to us, remember. Hey! Woo! Remember that name. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Nikki Tootle, originally from Central Florida, but I live in Tennessee now. I'm home based in Tennessee, going full-time RV living and traveling. Started that 3-4 weeks ago when I quit my job. And new to kitchen craft, and very excited.
Bravo.
And this is Robert, my partner.
You know what? Let's go.
Just a second over here. We got Mr. just came in. Go ahead, Jason.
Introduce yourself, Jason.
Mr. Passion. This is Elvis himself.
If I've got a voice. Jason McVeigh, this is my wife Kim. We just had our estate sale ended yesterday and got to bed about 1 o'clock in the morning. On hours. So yes, we are in the process of estate sale, selling everything, buying an RV and going full-time kitchen crafting.
By the way, on his first show, and let me share this with you guys because it's very important to me. As you look into training and managing people, he was trained and managed, I believe, by Nicholas, if I'm not mistaken. On his first show, in 3 demos, he had like $17,000 in sales. So he's got it. Now he's just going to nurture it and get it better and better and better. And we're so proud to have you guys with us because he came in knowing the script. He was disciplined. He took a message to Garcia. Remember Garcia. I'll be sharing more with you about him as we progress here, okay? Who's got the microphone? Yes, sir.
We're Bruce and Gloria Ketchum, and we also are Trailer Crash. We live in a fifth wheel. We sold our house about a year and a half ago.
Almost 2 years. Yeah.
And we've been with Kitchen Craft for 6 months and moving down the road. But we had gotten 10,000 miles in it, so we
went all the way to Alaska with an RV to cover Alaska shows for us. Is that amazing? A little less on the squelch, if you would, please, on this mic. Hear that screaming? All right, anytime you get that, we need you to turn that treble down. Turn the treble down. There we go. Now, a little bit down on the bass. I want you guys to learn all you can about PAs. Because see how it's clear now, it's not screaming at you? All right. Miss Coleman.
He's trying to get Cash to talk. He's being shot.
I'm Lena. This is Cash. And we also have Brett around here. He's getting lunch. We have trailer trouble this month. Anyway, we live in Arizona, and he's been doing it for, I don't know, 13 years, I think, and I've been 12.
I think it's 14 years. I don't know how to tell you this, but
Stop counting.
These guys are a love story that I'll tell you about. What about the last demo? I always said do the last demo. Brett was at a show, and he said, it's 8 o'clock, show's over 9, I'm not going to do the last demo. He finds out, I'm feeling really guilty. I know Dave Rose got to be here someplace watching me. So he got up and did his last demo. And a lady bought a deluxe set, and he married her a year later. Always do the last demo.
Hi, I'm Betty Hahn. I've been doing Kitchen Craft for about 4 years because it was my birthday yesterday and I'm only 21. So, no, I've been with Kitchen Craft for about 16 years and I live in Atlanta and good to see so many old faces and welcome the new people as well. Thank you.
Yeah, Steve, she says old faces right before she hands you. This man's amazing, the incredible, incomparable, Stephen.
Steve worked in California, and with the company 9 years. There was no other company hired an old guy like me, so I guess I'll just stay around.
But nobody works more days than you.
Steve, that's the
Nobody works more days than
in the
you.
industry, please, Mr. Steve.
400 years. I'm Steve Desolé, and this will be my 31st year doing live cooking demonstrations. And I don't have a trailer. I'm from Arizona. I live in a van down by the river. Some of you don't get that. But it's always great to come to these, and Ted missed you for a while at some of these, so it's good to see you and Brenda again, and always learn something. So keep your mind open and your mouth closed, you'll do okay.
Charlie and Monica Fowler, we live in Clemson, South Carolina. Where? Yeah, C-L-E-M-S-O-N, Clemson. We've been doing it 3.5, 4 years now, and it's actually our 5th conference. Do the math. It's a story, I'll tell you one day. Charlie Fowler, Monica.
You know, it's amazing. It amazes me how many people say they've been doing it. I lost this one, but it's okay. Whenever you get a chance. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Rob Ellinger, we live in Maryland. I said we. My wife is not here with me this year. She says hi to everybody.
Hey, Katie.
Been with the company for 7 years. Don't everybody edit that part out. She didn't edit the part that I said that. Been doing this for 7 years and have been loving it full time. And Katie came on board 2.5 years ago or so. So it's about 2.5 years, going on 3 for her as well. So we're excited.
Thank you so much, Rob. We so appreciate you. Great, Mark. Tell them how many years.
Mark and Vicki from Missouri, Georgia, Florida, Alaska, Washington. Anyway, been with the company a couple years since it started. Other than that, that's all I'm going to say about that.
How many years, Mark?
Well, doing cook, we're over 40, but I guess with this program, over 30.
40 years he's been in our industry. That's pretty cool. Wow. Give him a hand. I think that's really cool. 40 years. Paul Bugenhagen isn't here or he would have trumped him. This is Paul's 48th year.
Hey everybody, my name is Nicholas Castellano and this is my wife Amy. We just got married. So we planned it so we got a free honeymoon every year. And I've been with the company 4 years and we love it. Got twin boys at home.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay. Hi everybody, I'm Stuart Mayo. This is my better half, Linda. And I don't know, 20 years?
21.
21, are you sure? I don't know. Yeah, we work in Dallas, Texas, and yeah, I absolutely love what I do. And I'm very happy to be here with you guys. We're going to have some fun. Yeah, who's here to have some fun? We're going to do some stuff too. All right, who's next?
Kate. It keeps going out. It's
Oh, okay.
short.
Hi, I'm Kate. I've been with our company for, according to Mr. Hurley now, 19 years, something like that.
Wow.
Love being back, so thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a mouthful of food. One second. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, yes. We're the Monettes. That's my husband Ross, and I'm Jennifer. We've been with the company for just over a year now. Yeah, a year and a half, which is great. We absolutely love it. And here you go.
We've been living free for a year and a half now. So
It's
this is
true.
the thing. We're free now.
Oh,
we
right
think
on.
we're from Utah, but we've been so far around. Really not anymore. No, Utah it is, but we're love it. Literally love it.
Wow, thanks Ross and Jennifer, and I believe you guys came the furthest coming all the way from Salt Lake City, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you so much.
We did. Thank you.
Mr. Couch.
Hey, Mike. Cat and so Paul Middlefield.
Never heard that name.
I'll introduce myself later. We've been with the company, we're just starting our 17th year, and we're like a lot of you, we just sold everything, and I live in a trailer half the size of yours.
You can come visit.
Actually, it's smaller than my wife's closet.
You had to make a closet for her in your trailer.
By the way, we just came back from Japan, and Sir Paul is going to be, she put together an amazing PowerPoint that she'll be sharing with us hopefully yet today.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Paul. They are an unbelievable team, like Ted and Brenda. It's not Ted, it's not Cab, it's Ted and Brenda, Cab and Sir Paul. Trust me, they're right there, just like Chuck and Monica, working together as a team. But Cab brought something to my attention. We at one time had as many as 16 people in our $1 Million Club. Amazingly, he was the first, other than myself, the only person that was in our $1 Million Club that was a single hitter. Our $1 Million Club was all combined with double hitters where they both did demonstrations, Ross and Jennifer.
Hold on.
Where they both. And Mark Samaras was in the $1 Million Club and he was a single hitter. That's exactly right. So we were putting out an all-out movement with Gloria to hire more couples that want to work together because it does so much better. They got each other to be together as a support system, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, that's Brett Coleman. He was late, but he's here. Everybody say hi, Brett. He's a legend. This guy has one of the highest average daily sales in the history of the company. He started with, I don't know, he was from Detroit, Michigan, and one of the most honorable people I've ever known in all my life, and his work habits are impeccable, his presentation skills with passion. He is the Elvis in his show. When he turned on the microphone, he's the Elvis the Kitchen Craft, and I mean that sincerely. It's hard to be humble, but keep trying. Go ahead. Ken Perry.
My name is Ken Perry. I've been with this great company probably about 6 years. I live in Arlington, Texas. This is my wife, Marbell. And this is probably one of the best things I ever did in my life, is working for Kitchen Craft.
Thank you, Ken Perry.
He says it so well, doesn't he? He doesn't have to say a lot, but it's always good.
Hi, I'm Sandy Hayes, and I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana, and we've been with Kitchen Craft for 15 years now. Wow.
They came on saying they were going to be here 1 year, 15 years ago.
Hi, my name is Cindy Hospier, and I saw my first demonstration 15 years ago, walked the set, fell in love with the product, and I thought, man, I could do this. And I searched high and low to find someone to do it with, and everyone told me no. And the one person said, okay, let me look at it, was Sandy, and she had a full-time job. Long story short, I said, do you regret your decision? Never. So we've been with the company 15 years, and we love every minute of it. I'm still doing it. 15 years, thank you.
Well, not every minute. There are those moments that it rained for 11 days at the State Fair in Texas. There are those days that you go to the Illinois State Fair and they move us. There are days and moments in everything in life, aren't there? So there's ups and downs. It just happens. It's life. Go ahead. Who's got the microphone? Oh, I saw Mr. Kelch.
Introduce yourself.
I didn't get a chance to sit down.
No, you don't.
What am I supposed to do?
Introduce yourself. Say hi.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Couch.
She's behind you.
Hi, Mike.
I was going to stay out of the picture.
This is Chrissy Couch. She's going to finish up talking for me. We have been with the company since 2014. And we have pretty much started working together full time now. So Chrissy goes with me on virtually every single show. And she's like my wingman. She does everything for me that I can't do. And yeah, we love it. We have a blast. We see a lot of great things, and we overcome the challenges that we all experience. And yeah, wouldn't change it for the world.
Did we miss anybody? We'll have some that are still on their way, actually, that'll be joining us here as we go. And Robin, I believe everybody got a schedule, but just so you know, and I'm kind of repeating the schedule just for a second if I could, please. Should I trade out, or should I go ahead and keep this? Or let me trade off if you don't mind. I'd appreciate you. Huh? Want me to keep this? Okay, that's fine.
No, we're going to give you this.
Okay, all right. That's fine. So we're going to be fine. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Our technical crew here, they're doing a great job. Can you tell the difference in the sound of the
Yes, that's omnidirectional mic right there.
That's exactly right. And there's nothing that you could ever spend any worse money for than a bad PA system. If there's ever a place you want to invest, you want to have a good PA system because it will make all the difference in the world. You know, when I was 10 years old, my daddy told us to get in the truck in the middle of the night, and we moved from Tampa, Florida, an unbelievable home, and Robin was with us. And in the middle of the night, little did we know he was running from the IRS unconsciously, and we ended up in southern Illinois, about an hour and a half from here, on a pig farm. And there was 6 of us in a one-room house, and with no plumbing, et cetera, et cetera. And I went down and slept in the barn in Uncle Knott's house because there was no place to sleep in the house. And I remember this very well because this is real close to where my old woods came from, and we went to Simpson Grade School. And I went from a school in Tampa that had double sessions. Y'all remember double sessions? That they would, half the class would come in from 6 in the morning until 1, and then from 1 till 7 at night, double sessions, and there were 10,000 kids in the school, probably. And I went to a school the exact size of this right here in Simpson, Illinois. This was the whole school, but this is K through 12. In other words, one teacher, Mr. Stevens, who taught K through 12. You got that? So how I am today is Mr. Stevens. Because we have people that are very new, and we have people that have been with us for 20 and 40 years. So we got first graders, kindergartners, we got 2nd and 3rd graders, we got kids trying to pass 6th grade math, and we got seniors graduating this year. You got that? So you're very blessed to be in this type of an environment because you can learn things. And there's things that are going to be over your head just a little bit. And there's things that the guys that have been here forever that are going to be, well, we've heard that before. There's so much of it that seems redundant. It's sometimes important to go back to what makes us successful. So I want to ask a very serious question, and just for open discussion, please. Why are we here, and what would you like to accomplish? What would you like to accomplish in the next 2.5 days? What would you like to gain from being here? Open discussion. Just don't care what you say. Say something quick or I'm leaving.
Build an audience.
Building an audience, okay? Cheryl?
Forging the gap with the blue-collar people.
Forging the gap with the blue-collar people. Oh, good point. Yes. What else?
Overcoming the internet?
Brittany, could you do me a favor and try to write these down for me, please? Or somebody? Robin? Robin's got it. Okay. What was that?
Adapting to the internet. Adapting to the internet.
Adapting to the internet. Okay. Yeah. Anything else you can think of? Why are we here? What would you like to learn? What would you like to take from here? What would you like to say? Man, I got something I can take back, because if we can take back one thing that only helps us sell maybe one more set for a 3-day show, it's going to pay huge dividends. You know what? Yes, Kate?
I want that bubbly effervescence, you know, that woo!
Woo! I want my 7th cup of coffee! It's amazing! Yes, sir?
Changing objections to opportunities.
Turning objections into opportunities, okay? Objections into opportunities. Anything else?
Learn as many OICs as I can.
As many OICs as you can. Oh, I see why we do that. Okay, good thought. You know, this little book that I've got back here that will be given to all of you is the #2 selling book in the entire world. Second only to the Bible. It's called Message to Garcia. And of all the things that you guys talked about that you want to learn, none of them are relevant to your career at Kitchencraft. I proved it. An hour and a half from here, working in the rock quarry, stone broke, no running water. The guy comes, you know the story, white Cadillac, I buy the cookware, et cetera, and he says, I'll be back a week from now to train. I said, wait a minute. I'll lose everything I got in a week. I just pawned my guitar, my amplifier, my Topcon Mamiya speaker, camera, everything is hopped for a week. What am I going to do? He said, that's your problem, not mine. So I had to take a message to Garcia. I had to go figure it out. Was it because of skill? Was it I knew how to build an audience, because I knew how to deal with the millennium, because of the internet, or anything else that so I sold 11 sets that week. I had to sell 11 sets because I made $30 a set. 25 in the first 3, and then I made $30 out of that. So to get the $300, to pay for my samples, and to pay for my investment, I had to sell at least 10 sets. I sold 11 sets. Peggy Hoffman, Dr. Hoffman's wife, said they don't want to pay cash. She said, no, you can't pay cash. You got to pay $38.95 down and $15 a month. Because that's the only way I knew how to write an order. They could only buy the set that I bought because that's the only set that I knew. And it was a set of Lustercraft cookware with an 11-piece set of bakeware, and that's what everybody bought that week. And I did this after 4 o'clock, after getting off the rock quarry. I took a message to Garcia. It's not about the knowledge, it's about what's here. It's about believing in yourself. And the real reason we're here is for the association and to be able to say, do you know what? This is a great industry, it's a great career. It's a great place to be. Because we second guess ourselves sometimes, don't we? We wonder, wow, am I doing the right thing? Did I do the right thing or not? Or whatever the case might be. And we all go through that, but the bottom line, it's an amazing, amazing career. It's an amazing place to be. Ask Sal and Sam who just walked in. Hey Sal, hey Sam. We're introducing everybody. You guys need to tell us who you are, where you're from, and how long you've been hanging out with those crazy people. You go first.
I'm Sam from Chicago.
She's lying. She's Sal from Milwaukee, and I'm Sam from Chicago. You've been with the company 5 years, and I've been 3, 4, going on 4.
And she trained her. But we don't know if it was Sam or Sal. We can't quite figure that out, but it's one of the two. Come on in, you two. These guys are amazing. Sam has been working out in California for us. Thank you very much. Or was that Sal working out in California? I can't remember, but one of the two of them. And they're from Milwaukee and Chicago, and we so welcome you. But the real reason that we're here is sometimes we need a checkup from the neck up. We get cases of stinking thinking. We all do, don't we? And then to be around people and experience and say, you know what? Attitude is contagious, and a positive attitude is contagious, and a negative attitude is contagious. Because when you go to shows, what do you hear all the vendors talk about? Negative, negative, negative. It's a negative world we live in. Tim Martin. I called him this summer. He said, Dave, I had an off slow. I said, what have you been listening to in the morning? He said, you're right, CNN and Fox News. I go back and forth. How many of you have done that? Yeah. Jiminy Cricket, what are you, newscasters? What is that doing to our brain? So a lot of what we're here, guys, is sure, we'll pick up some OICs, we'll pick up some ideas. But the other thing is just being with our friends. This is my family. We're going to go to Cuba. I don't have to do that. You know, none of our competitors do any of this stuff. I just came back from Japan. Where have we been, guys? We have been, Stuart, where haven't we been? Ireland, Switzerland. You know why? Because this is my friends. This is my family. So we're here to have a family reunion too. Does that make sense? And get together and have some association. And tonight we're going to do some singing. We're going to go to Elvis's house tomorrow. They're fixing us lunch, okay? We're going to see his studios, and we're going to be able to go down to Bale Street. We're going to go to this really cool barbecue place, and we're going to have fun too. Because you know, what do? We get up in the morning, we eat the food to get the energy to go to work, to make the money, to buy the bread, to get up in the morning, to eat the bread, to get the energy, to go to work, to get the money, to buy the bread, to get up in the morning. What a rut so many people are in. We're not. We have a life. We have a life that most people would just dream of, but even then we'll sometimes second guess the greatest life in the world, what Tim and Stephanie have done. Most people would dream in 10 lifetimes of what they've done. Most people will only dream of going to Japan and Switzerland, all the places we've been and things we get to do. And top of that, we get off 4 days a week, probably every week almost during our off season when it's not in the fair time. Then there's the State Fair in Texas and 3 others that went to 24 days. So we've got a beautiful, beautiful life and experience and a beautiful family. We work together as a team. So that's what we're here for, is to build that and to learn what's new. Now, I was a forward observer in Vietnam, and I just found out that Fred Smith was there the exact same time I was. I was a forward observer in the Marines. He was in the Marines, and the guy that, the service master guy was a Marine. There's something happening in boot camp, okay? It's constant, pardon?
In the Marines.
Yes, yes. It's stimulation, motivation, whatever the case might be. But the bottom line is, we've learned some things about work habits and what have you that a lot of people don't know. We're going to be sharing that with you as well. And I was a forward observer. He was a forward observer in the air. I was a forward observer on the ground. I guarantee you that we had talked to each other at one time or another. What is a forward observer? Anybody know?
Yep.
What is it? Tell me.
It's the guy that brings the artillery shots in about 10 feet in front of him.
Yeah, I tried to keep it further than that. I got blown out of a tree once by the New Jersey. That was as close as I ever wanted to get. But the bottom line, that's why I can't hear very well. I have something called tinnitus. I have the 24-hour ringing in my ears, and I want to blow my head off sometimes, but I don't. But here's the bottom line. I was out there seeing what was going on. How many of you, by show of hands, have I been to one of your shows at least once in the last year? Raise your hands, please. Okay, I've done my job as an FO. But you see, I was there for hours before you knew I was there. And I carry binoculars with me, and I sit up in the bleachers and I watch your customers. I don't watch you. I want to see how they're reacting. I want to come back and report the changes that I've learned, the things that I've seen. And that's what I do for a living. I'm in 3 to 4 tech places today. He said, boy, he didn't stay long, did he? I got what I needed. I found out where the enemies were. And I went to last in South Carolina, and we picked that location. I said, yeah, we're keeping that location that they didn't want. That location will be there forever and ever. And I got a video of Tim just rocking and rolling in the worst location in the world, they said. And we turned it into a good location. And I meet with the promoters, and I try to reduce our costs. I try to get those show costs down so we can make the quotas, et cetera, and all the things that are happening. So that's what I'm going to be doing this morning. We're going to talk about what I have found and what I've learned in the field. And we also have some amazing, amazing messages coming from several people. Mr. Froese is going to be introducing his new book, which I'm going to be giving a copy to everyone as a Christmas gift. But the publisher sold out, and they don't have any, so we're going to have to wait a week or two to get them. Okay? You can't even get it from Amazon, the monster. Okay? And if we are, and I'd like for you, if you could please, that first slide, I think is some of the stuff we want to talk about. By the way, that was me the second day I was in Vietnam in 1968. I was 17 years old. I spent my 18th birthday over there. And at that point, I was like, hey, pretty cocky, huh? I had the dude, a radio, and a gun. You should have seen me by the 5th day. Mud top to bottom, hitting out, what have you. I was learning what this was all about. So some of the stuff that I did, the millennials, I thought it was a disease, they're real. And it's infecting all ages, yours included. Millennial is a disease. And it's a different disease, it's a different way of buying. And I'm trying to learn how to deal with it. You got some lunch out? Yay, good. Online shopping, mom and pop, power of the testimony. Oh man. We cannot, that's something you guys didn't, what you don't realize, all those things you want to learn will all be taken care of by your testimony once you learn to use that testimony. We'll talk about that a little bit. Earning your tips. You say earning your tips. How many of you now go to Panera Bread, you order a bowl of soup, and they turn the thing around and say, how much tip do you want to give? Look, all you did was slide the soup under the bowl. Oh man, we're in trouble now. Gee whiz, look who's snuck in all the way from the Carolinas. You got to introduce yourself. Tell us how long you've been hanging out and who all these guys are.
You know me, I'm Dean. Emails.
Woo!
Who's this? Who is it? Anyway, I've been with the company for, 15 months? Started in August of 2017. One more time. Say bye-bye.
Thank you guys. Come in and get a seat. Any place you can, we may need to bring a seat around. We can, we will. We've got seats over here, by the way. Yes, this is a guy that walked out on his porch after the floods in South Carolina, on his garage, in his house, and about a 6-foot copperhead bit him.
Where?
If you think our cookware is expensive, folks, I want to tell you something. Dean, how much was the antivenom alone?
I think $56,000.
What? $56,000 for the antivenom for the snake bite in his garage in his own house. Yeah. So our cookware is pretty doggone cheap. Folks, you can buy a work set for less than the antivenom from you getting bit by a rattlesnake in your garage. Oh my. Okay. New set configurations, education, competition, shocking health statistics, and changing in events. We're making some changes in the company. The opposite of growth is death. Without change, you cannot grow. The changes are minimal, they're critically important. And Brittany, do I have a thing that makes this thing work? Yeah. Oh, I do. Oh, I am proud of myself.
Absolutely not.
Turn up, please. Up, please. I want you to watch this. This is a millennial.
You're a baby girl, and I'm a millennial.
Well, Melanie, I am overqualified for this job.
I don't know where you got this. We don't do paper applications.
I made it. I don't do the internet.
Okay, that is the 3rd time you have said that this interview, and it also says so on this homemade job application.
There you go, champ.
I don't know what this is for.
Don't you need a trophy anytime you... anything?
Oh, it's on. How'd you get here? Horse?
I drove. My car. I own it. After 8 more payments. How'd you get here?
I took an Uber.
Uber.
Do you not know what that is? Bet you're a thief.
Yeah, because I'm not a monster. Your generation is afraid of black people.
Your generation thinks you are black people.
Oh, word. Look at who you guys voted for.
Yeah, that's right. I voted.
Touche.
This is the only way you'll ever own a house.
Learning how to text is the only way you'll ever communicate with your son. So...
Alright guys, who took my Sheryl Crow?
Gen X.
comical but true. The millennial, whatever that might be. As the world changes, we need to make changes, solutions to reaching the millennial buyer. Does anybody know or have a definition of what this millennial buyer is?
37 years.
Pardon?
37 years and up.
37 years or younger. They're 37 or younger.
Number one home buyer in America. Wow.
They what?
Number one home buyer in America.
Really? Wow. Yes?
They are practical buyers.
The practical buyers. Practical buyers. I think it was, I have something I'm going to share with you here that is the ultimate millennial here in just a little bit, okay? So they're a different generation. Do you understand and realize that that is now spreading to people over 37 and 57?
Yeah.
And how many of you use the internet to do most everything? It thinks for you, it does everything. That's where, in other words, you're making wiser buying decisions than ever before, aren't you? You look at the reviews before you go to that restaurant or that hotel, whatever the case might be. That is basically what a millennial is. It's a smart buyer. So, how many of you feel violated by the technology that's devouring your life?
No.
How many of you right now would love to go out to the river and throw your cell phones in the river and take a week without?
Yes.
It is happening, isn't it? Oh, I would. I do. I take one day out of the month. I'm not allowed to turn anything on technologically. It's the best thing you could ever do. It's the most peaceful day of all. They just did a test in New Zealand. They had 400 kids in one room. They had 400 kids in another room. And they tested them for memory skills. The kids in this room had 38% less memory skills than the kids in this room. Does anybody know what the difference was? These 400 had a cell phone. 38% less memory skills. Attention spans have diminished as much as 70% in young people today. Have any of you have kids that's got technology and they have devices, and you notice that their anger level is way up? We are completely changing the transposition of our brain, of our thinking patterns, etc., etc. And now it is not just the millennials. We are all becoming millennials. And again, you know, this is not unusual. Some of these slides are cell phones at the dinner or during mealtime. This is not an unusual exaggeration. How many of you go to a restaurant, you see this? How many of you go to a show, you're walking through the show before you start, and everybody back there doing this? Totally addicted. Their lifetime dream is to get rid of all their emails. I have, swear to God, 3,200 right now. I have emails back to 2016 that I've not had an opportunity to go back and address. I don't want to let them go because it might be important. We are being held captive. Who was it yesterday? Zuckerberg has said he bought an island so he could have privacy, but what has he done to ours? Mark Zuckerberg, the guy that started Facebook. Our privacy does not exist anymore. And you know, we think about this I love it. We do not have Wi-Fi. Talkie to each other, pretend it's 1995. This was in a restaurant. I believe that could be one of the most successful ventures in the future that we could ever want. Get rid of the cell phones. Hang up, radiation from mobile phones can affect your memory and attention span. Read the articles, Google it, it will blow your mind when you find out what we're doing to ourselves unconsciously. So we do have a whole new, different people. So here's some signs that we saw as we traveled around the country as Florida Observer said, 90-minute lecture on how poor your health is. No, that's not true. But you know, what if we put this sign up that says no cell phone, no talking, no eating, no children, no breastfeeding, must wear shoes, cookware buyers only.
You've been having customers.
You think you're having a hard time building an audience? No, this is an exaggeration, but it's not. Because if you put up a sign that says no cell phones, would you go in?
No.
No. If you put up a sign that says no talking, no eating. I have Betty, I worked at the West Virginia State Fair, and I was in the tent out by the food court. There was not one person in my show not eating a corn dog, a hot dog, or something during the entire event, and I did 140,000 sales. We've got to learn to adapt to people and accept them as they are. Children, how many of you, by show of hands, have had a child watch a show and bring back parents and bought cookware? Don't you ever discount that child. How many of you have had somebody in a wheelchair that's bought your cookware? Yeah. Mark Tamaris, so they can understand. DuQuoin, Illinois, right up the road from here. Back in 1970-something. Mark and I were working the fair together, and Mark left, and he came back, and I was bragging because I had a guy in a motor skirt, a little moped, pulls up in front of the booth, and we're in a tent outside. I'll show you a picture of that actual tent from back in those times. And I went out, he was resting, and I sold him a deluxe set of cookware. Now I was, woo. The guy never came in the booth. I carried a 1-quart pan, an order form, I told him the features and benefits, etc., etc. That was as millennial as they're going to get. The millennial doesn't want to listen to an hour-and-a-half long lecture. Their time and mental exemption is not going to be there for you to be able to conduct that. We had millennials back then, and it's no different than what it was back then. Must wear shoes, cookware buyers only, it doesn't happen, okay? By the way, then Mark had to do me in. And about 2 hours later, a lady in a wheelchair comes rolling up the sidewalk of the DuQuoin State Fair. Mark goes out and sells her a set of cookware. So, no demo, no cooking, no food, no nothing. He sold them cookware. Mark, am I correct that 92% of the time you don't even serve food now? Okay? You don't have, it's not your cooking, it's not the food, it's you. It's your personality, it's the features, the benefits, and catering to that person. There is no canned script that I can give you guys that's going to give you 100% success. Oh, whoops, I'm sorry. There we go. Millennials, they look for truth. By the way, this is true statistics. They look for truth. They're cautious consumers who gather all information before they make a purchase. You guys got that? How many of you are more of that than what you were 10, 20 years ago? The always connected generation grew up with the internet. Are savvy shoppers who do their research. How many of you are connecting and doing that? More savvy in your shopping than ever before. They like environmental claims. Our green manufacturing is huge to them and others as well. They look for companies to provide a unique value. We have to be unique. We have one of the most unique values in the world. I was in Japan with Kevin Paul. And we have a Japanese customer over there that we're just about to be making all of their cookware for. By the way, that's looking really good, Cap, since the kind of conversation I had 2 days ago. And they sell in stores, a 1-quart pan is $360. Guess what's right next to it for $700? A Vitamix. Pardon? The old one. The old Vitamix that has the turn handle, not the new push button, the old one, $700 right next to it in the retail store. The bottom line is, same thing we're seeing right here, a unique value. The Japanese, well, they want something unique. They want something special, different. So all Mark and I did, we went out and showed them how ours is different and unique. And this was 40 years ago. They want to connect and engage like a local church community. You guys get that? They want to connect and engage like a local church community. And they are. The millennial moms focus on travel, health, and their children. Guys, health and children, we've got 2 out of 3 nailed. Most important reason for them to buy from us, but you know, we have to adopt and adapt our presentation to the things that make them happy. Now, I'm going to show you the epitome of a millennial. Somebody here, and I think it was either Mark or maybe it was Tim, I do not remember who, had a lady come in, watch a demonstration, went home, came back the next morning, she happened to be a single girl, and she bought the deluxe set. Can anybody remember who that was? It is the epitome of the millennial. It's somebody that researches, thinks it through, is not going to be pressured or talked into buying anything, then they come back and buy in a comfortable fashion. Welcome to the Amish communities of America. How many of you have sold Amish? Okay, they come in, they watch, they leave, they come back and make a buying decision. And this little gal, who was it that sold the deluxe set? Maybe they're not here.
Larry.
Pardon?
It was Larry at my shop.
It was Larry Tish at your show. The gal left. Can you tell the story?
Well,
So I don't mess it up.
basically that's it. She was she's a 17-year-old Amish girl, and she was engaged to get married in another year, and she watched Larry do the show, and nailed everything that they're interested in. She went home, she talked to her parents, and her mother told her, you will never make a better decision, we're going to do that tomorrow, and they came back and bought.
Wow. So Mom was a review. Mom was the reason she came back, and they talked it through and made a wise decision. So trust me, this was also the first organic farmers. And still are. I love the Amish communities, they're amazing. They're on Instagram. And this is another thing that I don't quite get, guys. I don't even know what Instagram is, but It used to be a Telegram, now it's Instagram, and things have changed just a little bit over the years, right guys, okay? And you think about this, 47% agree that Twitter means laughing or a cure for boredom. They are bored. They want to be entertained. And if all you did all day was sit there and stare at a screen, you would be bored too. There's a company that just opened a Mount Door with over 100 people. It's like a, they do games and oh, for heaven's sakes, animation. I went to the grand opening, there was 100 up there was not one conversation in the room. They're environmentally retarded. They do not know how to talk. They do not know how to engage in conversation. Because they don't. And they're lonely. Then when you get one going, you can't shut them up. Their vocabulary is pathetic. Give them an opportunity and you'll have the talkingest. They'll tell you everything you need to know for them to buy everything you got. All you got to do is give them that opportunity one time. And that millennial, when they're given, oh, I can't talk. I'm John. Oh, what is your name? It's amazing. And I watch this. And I watch them from the distance as I watch at your shows. And you can tell when all of a sudden you engage them, they light up like a Christmas tree. But if you're in the group and you don't engage them, you don't look at them, they melt down. They feel like they're being completely neglected. More so than ever before. How many remember the guy that was up at the Panama City, and we got this on video, and he's writing an order, the lady's buying, another couple's buying, and then a real pretty lady walked by, and he looked up and said, "Howdy, ma'am." The lady was sitting there buying, turned around, looked at the lady, she was prettier than her, she set her clipboard down the left. You have got to be more precautious about audience control today than ever before. You got to be more precautious of complete attention, peripheral attention to everybody there. Nobody wants to feel neglected. The minute they feel neglected, they're gone. How many of you notice you're losing audiences easier than ever before? It's because you're not keeping that constant vision going back and forth and back and forth. It's hard to understand, but it's true. 50% tweeting, random thoughts, really crazy stuff. It's the only way of communicating because they don't know how to communicate. And we're losing it. How many of you, matter of fact, right now, you notice when you go to text somebody, it's thinking ahead of you? I put in E, and it comes up enthusiastically because I know that I'm going to sign my letter enthusiastically, Dave Hurley. It's picking your vocabulary. It's picking your brain. It's thinking for you. How many of you do not know your spouse's phone number? Okay. Scary, isn't it? Okay? So you are losing your radar on a regular basis. The internet shopper. Wow, it's huge, isn't it? Aren't all of you? Yeah, thank you, Sal. I'm not either. But you know what? They are. We're working on our website daily, trying to improve it. I've made some changes on it. I'll be showing you in a little bit. We're no longer going to offer individual pieces on the internet. A lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. We're going to offer sets only. I'll be explaining to you exactly why. All right. Number one, they don't buy individual pieces, and you'll be understanding some of that here in just a little bit too. These are things that I've learned when I was out there. Tablets on the tables. How many of you have experienced the tablets on the table? It's very successful. They're all going that way now. Guess what's going to happen to those jobs? Recruiting is going to get better next year. Trust me. A lot of people are losing their jobs to technology on a daily basis. Tips are higher. Dessert sales are up. Post-meal surveys are up. They're getting all they want because nobody's bothering them. How many of you notice that people today don't want to be bothered? You know, it used to be we could pass out the cards and all, and now they just totally different environment, totally different people. But they're really still the same. They're just being reprogrammed a little bit differently. And you're going to look at this and say, what is that, Dave? This is what I'm working on right now. I have 4 of them in test right now. Instead of giving them a clipboard, you're going to give them one of these.
Yep. Yep.
It's going to have a testimony and a review or 2 or 3. And so instead of them going to the internet when you're not looking and being a disturbance, we're going to lead them to our website so they can see everything. And then this is a deluxe set. Here's a basic set. Here's a da-da-da-da-da-da. And then they will be able to put their credit card number in. You won't have to sit there and fight with that swiper and all that junk. This will probably take 3 more months to get proofed. But it's going to be really good. Now, it's also expensive. That means I got to buy about 4,000 tablets. And we're going to use a tablet, and we have 4 that we're testing right now to see how well this works out. What it'll amount to, guys, the tablet's about the same size as your clipboard. It's actually about the same weight. The biggest thing will be saving them from kids stealing them. Secondly, keeping them charged at night. There will be some things we'll have to do in order to, make this work. but I think it is where it's going, and we think it's going to be very successful in time. So be patient with me, all right? By the way, that is something else that you guys missed just a little bit, but I'll be coming back to this because this is actually an example of what our brochure will be like for 2019. Got a couple changes. Online shopping, and the changes that I'm making here, 51% prefer online shopping. 49% prefer going to the store. Yay. Now think about that for just a minute. It's changing, isn't it? Online shopping, 15% growth rate. Brick and mortar sales, 5% growth rate. What happened to JCPenney, Sears and Roebuck, et cetera, et cetera? You know what, guys? I'll tell you what happened to them. They sat on their laurels. They didn't change. JCPenney's was the same the day they closed as the day they opened. So was Montgomery Ward's. So was Sears and Roebuck. They didn't change. If we don't change, we'll join them. So if you don't like change, you're in the wrong room. We've got to make changes. We've got to change the new climate of people. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're looking for constantly. Customers make an average of 19 purchases online per year. That's not bad, okay? Customers spend 65% of their shopping cash in stores compared to 36% online. By 2022, 10% of all grocery sales will be made online. By the way, this is kind of strange. There's something very positive about this. You know, when I was a kid, how many remember the milkman? Oh, he's back. Because now they're delivering to our houses again. Now think about this. And I was out there in the field, I see another huge, beautiful trend coming. That new huge, beautiful trend is free pickup service. Your groceries are brought to your door or to your booth at a show. All right? On and on and on. Fresh groceries. You don't have to go deal with buying a bunch of junk you don't need. Whole Foods was bought by who? Amazon. Why? So they can deliver groceries to people's house. And what are they going to do? Let them sit in the refrigerator and rot? People are heading home to cook again. The problem they had, they didn't want the hassles of the grocery stores. They didn't want to get in their car and fight the traffic to get to the grocery store. They didn't want to spend the time in the grocery store. So they would just say, well, let's just eat out or order something in rather than going out. There's a huge trend towards people cooking at home again. There's also a huge trend towards health again. Yes, Cheryl?
HelloFresh is huge, too.
And what?
HelloFresh, they deliver everything to your door, ready-to-make meals. You don't have to know how to cook, just follow the instructions.
HelloFresh, just bring it on, throw it in the pot and cook it, and dinner's ready. Simplicity is what they're after. Yes. Americans are spending more on dining out than in groceries today, though. Why? The economy. This will change. I'll explain that to you in just a moment also. This is very typical, if you guys can remember, back in 2009, the exact same thing was going on, 2008. Online grocery sales started grabbing 20% on the market in 2005 and grows and grows and grows. Consumers want to cook at home and more than ever before. Now, as we continue with some of the stuff that's new, this guy. You want to know who your competition is? That's your competition. You know what his statement was to the world? I will make every salesperson and every middleman in the world obsolete. I will make them obsolete. So folks, every time you pay your $120, $130 on Amazon Prime, you say, oh, so cool, I got it the next day. Fine, you're sinking yourself. You're promoting one of the most horrible forces, the strongest forces on earth. Every airport that I flew into this year, I see 4 or 5 big blue planes with PA on the back of it. Prime Air. They now have people, who was telling me just yesterday, my friend David, who was my office manager 30 years ago here, was telling me about how his wife is going to be an Amazon driver. And they buy 5 vans for her. And she will be the new Uber delivery. You have no idea what is happening in this world and the changes. Can we overcome it? You better believe we can. This is one of their stores. I showed this to you last year, if you guys might remember. Unbelievable, the system he's got. The guy's a genius. He's very, very smart. And he's getting bigger and bigger all the time. Here's where some of the distribution centers are. And a Tesla, you cannot buy a Tesla at a dealership. You go in and drive it, then you have to go home, sit down with a glass of wine, you order it online, they deliver it to your house. This is our new world. So we have to get ready for this. New members are, by the way, they call this Amazon Prime free shipping. What is this stuff? It's not free shipping. It's $156 a year. Is that free shipping? That's not free shipping. That's like free pot in Colorado. No. Okay? It's not free, okay? The new consumer wants this: security, service, value, entertainment, and an experience. And Folks, if you're not every one of those, I gotta tell you something, if you get a chance, watch Brett Coleman's demonstration. It is every one of those to a T. But I think one of the biggest things today with a millennial, it's gotta be an experience. What is an experience? Can anybody tell me what's an experience?
Something that you remember.
Something you what?
You remember.
Something you remember, Dave.
And you share with someone else.
That you'll share with everybody. Amen. Boy, can I prove that. Anything else an experience? It's something you remember, something you want to share with everybody.
Something that will be life-changing.
It's what?
Something that will change your life.
Something that would change your life. It would be hugely beneficial. Yes.
That light bulb moment.
That light bulb moment, that tipping point, that thing that says, oh, I want to tell you something. I'm going to tell you this up front and before I even get to it. I left Japan so darn pumped and excited. I've never seen such a society. There's no trash cans in Japan. Everybody picks up their own trash and takes it home with them. There is no parking on the streets in Japan. All cars are parked in a garage. I've got pictures of 4- and 5-year-old, right, so Paul, waiting for the subway or for the bus on the public street to go to school. Cash, you got that, dude? All right. That's the most amazing place, the most beautiful place I've ever been in all of my life. So that experience lets me know that that needs to be where we go. And I'm going to be running an incentive to take all of you to Japan and see one of the most amazing places you've ever seen or experienced in your life. But what was it, Sir Paul? It was the experience of going to Hiroshima, to Nagasaki, and to go to Tokyo, and to have every place you go up and get gas. So Paul, what was it like to get gas? Was that amazing?
He was super excited to greet us.
2 people standing out there at attention, waiting for you to pull up. You pull up, they run around your car, they wash your windows, they pump your gas, they bow as you leave.
That's the way it used to be here.
And all that dog would buy some gas. Now it's $6.50 a gallon, I guess that's why. So, I want you to experience the epitome. My office hates me. I come back with that standard, and they say, oh gosh, he goes to Disney World, he comes back, can't live with him, can't work with him. It's the same thing when I go to Japan. So it was the experience. I want you to experience that of which I experienced in Japan. It's the most amazing place and experience you've ever had in all of your life. Oh, service, value, mom and pop. All right, guys, this is huge. Here's how you beat your biggest competitor. See that little symbol right there? It says Mom and Pop Association. It's a new association. It's like AAA. It's like Better Business Bureau. And I will about 90 days away from launching it. And I'm starting the Mom and Pop Association of America. And this will be a sticker that you put on the window of a particular business. This is a mom and pop business. Whoops, I pushed the wrong button. What did I do? Okay, I'm sorry. Do you know what the difference is between a mom and pop and a mom and pop? Honey, I think you're leaning up against the wall. If you don't mind, step out. Thank you. Guess I there's a movie coming on. We forgive you. It's cool. It's great. It's great.
You dress her up, you can't take her anywhere. Huh?
I think I might bring it back up a little bit, if you don't mind. The single most important thing you've got to do is you've got to be a mom and pop. If you're not, you're going to really have to work very, very, very hard in your industry. The mom and pop rules over everybody. And how many of you can experience that same thing? What if you could get your hair cut on Amazon, would you?
No.
What if you could go to the doctor on Amazon, would you? What if Amazon could do your dental work, would you? No. You've got to become more and more mom and pop than ever before. And as we develop this, there's going to be one of these on each of your brochures. There's going to be one of these on your exhibits. And we're going to be recognized as a mom and pop. When you buy an American mom and pop, you guys know what it is. See these stores right here? They are thriving. They're exploding. Mom and pop is where we want to go. Now, there's somebody else that has 44 years in this business that tops Mark Tamaris. 44 years that he has been selling and involved in this amazing business. And I'm very proud to say my son Brian just walked in. Everybody say hi, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
He's our American.
Good gray.
He's the mom and pop of manufacturing, trying to be the one that keeps us together. The challenges are unbelievable. Since the tariffs, you can't get aluminum. And man, we have just been working our fannies off up there. Brian has, trying to keep everything coming in, to have the metals, to have the steels, et cetera, et cetera. So that little back order we had, that's why we couldn't get aluminum. We got a shipment coming in next month that goes to our steel manufacturers, et cetera, et cetera. It's been really, really crazy. And plus, trying to compete in the international market is a full-time challenge. So we need everybody. We need more help. We need more people. We need more people showing this and selling this, because we have to have the volume. So that's our other move in 2019. So if you understand what a mom and pop is, they're my shareholders. There's that book. And this is what I put on the order forms, is what I put on the back of the catalog. Thanks for buying from this mom and pop business. Are you guys good with that or not?
Yep.
Be honest.
Yep.
I think it's your most powerful tool. I think without any question, that is the best, most powerful thing you've got, is to say to people when you're post-closing, by the way, we're just your mom and pop. We're going to be here. And one of the things we're going to do in our script, and I'm rewriting a script with some changes I'll be sending out to you, just very minuscule, but one of the things at the end of it, we say, folks, in your script, to say, what if you said in your show, folks, how many store clerks do you know that would spend 30 minutes showing you how to use something in their store? Now think about that. How many of you go to a store now and see what kind of service you get? Talk about disgusting. Japan. I bought a $12 set of earrings, and I thought I'd bought a Ferrari. They wrapped it 4 times, polished it, and gave it to me on a tray, like this, bound. They are so mom and pop over there, it is unbelievable. That's what we've got to be, is more and more mom and pop than ever before. And we will. This is mom and pop, constant customer contact. While we were in, I don't know where Cab is, but while we were in Japan, every hour he was getting a text from a customer. Now guess what? Half of them were, how do I fry an egg? Or how do I make hash browns? Or what's the recipe that you have for a casserole, or this or that, or whatever the case might be? Guess what the other half were? One of them bought a Works.
Oops.
People buying more. Because he's taking care of his customers. He sends a monthly newsletter to them. He has constant contact. He has a beautiful website that he's put together, similar to what Stuart and Linda have. You have got to take better care of the customers than ever before. If you haven't seen Brett and Lena's website, just put in brettandlena.com. Or unit.com, just put in Brett and Lena and Google it. It's the only thing that will come up is Brett and Lena. You've got to spend that extra time, guys. This isn't easy anymore. You got to make those extra efforts to take care of those customers. No different than this hotel. Is this amazing? Place is spotless, the service, the people at the front desk, the bellman, everybody has been amazing. Somebody here is keeping them on top of the game so people will come back here and will write good reviews about them. The same thing about us. By the way, we're going to go into depth about that as well. This is a mom and pop. You are a mom and pop store, Tim. You are a mom and pop. When he gets done, they're family members. I've got letters that go on and on. Whoops. The power of the testimony. I'll show you the letters after a while, okay? This is a new subject, but you understand mom and pop. Do you get that? Now that's going to help the people buy. That's going to make them feel good, because they're buying from mom and pop, they feel secure. You're going to be there to help them. Do me a favor, please, and this is going to be going in your script. And folks, call Amazon when you need service. And just try it. Try it sometime. Try call Amazon on something you bought from Amazon and try to get service. Try to get help. Try to learn how to fry an egg, how to try to do anything. Ain't going to happen. This example that you see is something I wanted to share with you, because I cannot emphasize enough. If you can take this home and use it, you can literally double your business. I'll say you're a ministry. That's Pastor Rodwell, all right? And he's up doing his, so let's say I'm a minister right now, okay? And I'm saying, hey guys, and you know, the Lord giveth and Uncle Sam taketh away, whatever the case might be. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. And all of a sudden, some guy comes levitating out of the ceiling. Oh, hey, it's good to see you, man. Listen, as I was saying, back in the and that's what I saw endless people doing as I traveled, and I watched from a distance. This was like Jesus levitating down from the ceiling at your show, or levitating down in the middle of your service. Don't you think he could probably outsell me? If I said, oh, hey, JJ, here's a microphone. Dude. He can outsell me, you, all of you. So can your testimony, but you're so stuck on the script, you won't shut up. Let them talk and give them the microphone. They will remove all your objections. They will be your OIC. They will show you how to get the people to do. They'll do everything for you. How many of you have experienced that, by the way, where the testimony sat there and sold it for you? Oh, endless, endless, endless. This is where, matter of fact, I wanted to call on these three people to share some of their situations with testimonies, and one in particular, I think she's right here. No, yeah, this is, we'll come back to this in just a second, matter of fact. I'd like for these three folks to come up, if you don't mind. Kim and Jason, Cheryl, Ross and Jennifer. And I want them to share their experiences that they've had with people buying because of the testimony. Now, by the way, guys, one of them sold 4 sets because they shut up and let her talk. And come on up, come on, don't be bashful, guys. We're just having fun up here. Just come up here and visit with me. We're family. Remember that, right, Jason? Dude. By the way, I went to their second show after their great big hit, and there were not 2 people even in town. I think there was an epidemic that went on. They all left town or something. I don't know what happened to them. However, I believe, if I could, Cheryl, could you please just share a few words about how that testimonies have sold cookware for you? Because I've got videos if you don't.
I do, but I was thinking it was going to be something else about testimony for working for customers.
Go ahead.
Or kitchen crap. I had a lady at the Strawberry Festival come by, and it was most remarkable because she said, I know you don't recognize me, and I usually do remember people. And I was in a close, and she says, I was here 2 years ago, and I bought cookware from you, and I've lost 170 pounds.
Wow. Wow.
And I thought, that was an entire person. Stick around. I was in the middle of the close, so she finished telling everybody how wonderful it was and how great it was and awesome. And I was shutting up because I was still amazed at this woman that was walking at the Strawberry Festival, whereas 2 years before she had been riding a scooter, unhealthy. I said, at the very end, she finished, I closed the deals, and I took a video of her. And she says, you know, is this the video that you're talking about? I'm not sure, but anyway, it was amazing because she had the cookware from her parents that had had it over 40 years ago in Canada. So when she came to me, I basically sold her based on the new features, which means she had the waterless version. It was now water-free because health was the connection prior. So when she found, there she is.
My name is Joan. I've had this cookware now for my parents' cookware. It's over 40 years old. I bought a new set, so I could sit down here and a set back up in Canada. And after starting to cook with this, I have lost 170 pounds. Very healthy cookware, eat a lot of vegetables.
Would you recommend this as a good investment and a good weight loss?
Absolutely to anybody. Beats any kind of diet. You don't have to diet. Just have lots of veggies. They taste good. You don't need a lot of additives to put on them. You don't need a lot of butter, salt, pepper.
Would you say they clean up easy?
They clean up with plain water and just a towel.
I love that. So what is your full name?
Joan Grant.
Okay, and do you give kitchen prep permission to use this?
Yeah, that was amazing to me because I felt like I changed her life. Even though she did the work, I laid the foundation by letting her know that you have cookware that's 40 years ago, and that's awesome, but today you don't have to diet because part of my message in the show is always the first 3 letters of diet spell die, exclamation, and they don't work. So she went ahead and bought a second set from me at the Strawberry Festival, and then within 2 years had lost that weight. I was amazed, I really was, because she put forth what we laid the foundation. She did the work, but she wouldn't know that she could do that if we hadn't said that. In the meantime, I think I sold 4 sets or 3 sets, because she came at the perfect timing of my close. And I like to close deals, but guess what? She did that for me. I could just shut up and let her do the rest, and that's all we're saying, simply, so.
You know, one part of that story that I don't know if you understand, the old cookware was waterless.
I'm water-free now.
Today, the difference in being able to cook, and Sal cooks her carrots with nothing. She doesn't even rinse them. She puts them in there and cooks them just like that, 100%, totally water-free. Try it.
Because you got the millennials will tell you, oh, you used a lot lot of water in that one. We don't use that much. So I go ahead and take that objection out in the beginning, and I say we're using just a little bit of water here and no water here at all. So you'll see the difference. And some people will buy a $300 all-clad pot or a $30 Target pot. You cook the same, you just spend more. It doesn't do any different. So when they taste the difference and they see the difference, then it says for itself. I mean, you don't have to do the food that way, but it just, the millennials will definitely be looking at saying, oh, you use a lot of water, I don't use that much. So,
New society, water-free. Bottom line, she bought the set and lost 170 pounds.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
By the way, it's because Cheryl listens, she's compassionate, she cares. I don't need it. She goes to the Strawberry Festival, to every show, and she puts all of her heart and her soul in it. And she cares about those people. And the people that come up to her, she really cares about them. And that's why by herself, single hitter, nobody helping, nobody cleaning, scrubbing, peeling, closing, opening. She does it all by herself. She is one of our absolute top sellers at that show, year after year after year. And you're to be commended, lady, but it's because of what you did with this lady. Thank you.
Try 100,000 at that show, okay? At one show, that'll work, all right? Outsold some pros by twice because she put passion. This was the Elvis at the Strawberry Festival. You get it with Elvis, you get the passion, it was passion. If you don't have passion in your presentation, you're not going to get the results you deserve. You got to put passion into it. It's critical, it's important, it works. Go ahead, Mary.
So, yeah.
Go ahead.
Our experience was we were up in Washington doing the Puyallup, or I'm sorry, yeah, it was the Puyallup. No, this is for this one, this is different, yeah.
Go ahead.
So we were doing the Puyallup State Fair, and we had this lady, there's so much to say about her. Her name was Sally Parson, I think. And we were doing the show, she came up, she had this cookware. She is phenomenally devoted to how much she loves her cookware. She ended up coming back almost every night of that show. She would bring us food that she cooked in these pans. She brought us spaghetti, rice, and a lot of our customers that actually came back, she would sit there and talk to them for about another 20 or 30 minutes, explaining everything about it. Yeah, we sold so much at that fair. It was probably our best show ever, and a lot of that was because of her, and it was phenomenal. It was excellent. And I think one of those videos is her as well, when she brought us her spaghetti.
Okay, what am I doing wrong? Wait a minute. Go back, then now let me go down.
What's your name again? Pam. Do you care if I use this as an example?
Sure, you can.
Thank you very much.
Because they were what?
In 1998, I was 18 years old.
Bought it for your hope chest.
And I did. And my husband, we got married in 2000. And I ended up moving to Hawaii with him to go to school. And you can take very limited things to Hawaii. So my hands went. That was the one thing that and they're heavy. So I made sure that they got to Hawaii. And I remember that I burned carrots because I had it too hot, and I took learning to it, and once I figured it out, I love my hands. And in fact, my friend bought a set like 3 years ago because the kids would eat my food and not hers. And so she's like, I said, it's not me that's the good cook, it's my pans. So she ended up buying the pans, and now her kids eat your food. And they're wonderful. I love my hands. And I upgraded, kept getting different ones.
This is at the Puyallup Fair in Puyallup, Washington, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate your beautiful testimony. Thank you.
Wow. Her family, one of the things they do when they have Thanksgiving, she has to bring over her cooked carrots because that's the only thing anybody will eat carrots in. So, just phenomenal person. It was excellent.
And please feel free to share, because this is why you're here. Forget everything else. If you can learn to go ahead and let Jesus have the microphone, he can outsell you 10 to 1. And that testimony, when you master that, if I spent the rest of the 2 days just teaching you how to keep that testimony, and I'm going to do an OIC at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Anybody wants to come in, welcome to. You want to get up, you're crazy and early birds or whatever. And I'm going to take myself 20 years ago showing you how those multiple closes work, and showing you how I let that testimony work for me. Because the testimony will outsell you 10 to 1, guys. But you're thinking your script is going to sell. Your script don't sell squat. That testimony can outsell you 10 to 1. It's all about connecting with people and letting them know. The other thing with this gal, she's been coming back every year for 20 years. And when I see her come in with her 2 kids in a wagon and an 8-quart full of spaghetti, and she bought spaghetti for all of her employees. Now, is that amazing? And Mark, remember we used to do the State Fair of Texas? We couldn't work. There was people bringing in food, our customers coming back and bringing us food. Mark, Cap, so Paul, constantly, am I right? And, you know, because they love us. We're mom and pop, but if you don't create that relationship, you will not survive. You got to make them feel like part of the family. You're not selling and telling and taking their money. You're creating a relationship with those people. No different. If you don't have a relationship with God, you ain't going to be there. It's the same thing here. You're creating a relationship.
There's never 2 shows alike. I adjust my cells according to the audience that's in front of me. I call it the invisible library behind me. There's a wealth of information back there, but I don't need to give all that information to each audience. I depend on who's in front of me, the questions that I ask them, how many people are they cooking for, who does the cooking, do they like veggies, all those things. It means before I start my show, I know exactly what I'm going to deliver to them in the show, which is why it's hard to follow me when you're doing the show, because I never do 2 shows alike.
Never.
But my close is on point. Everything else is different according to who's in front of me. Maybe I'll shorten it, maybe I'll just fry an egg. I don't know. We'll see.
Elvis didn't have that privilege. He had to sing Love Me Tender the same way every time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, same way every time. We have the most beautiful career in the world because we can diversify and be all over the path, which is just wonderful. I love it. Now, I don't know if I'm out of order here, Jason, just a second, because I got to see where I was. What's the value of the testimonies? The value of the testimony, number 1, and guys, I can sit here and read these from you from now till forever, but it confirms the quality, the value, the longevity, the warranty, the health benefits, confirmed pricing and price condition, potential customers, etc. I want to see Otivo from Amazon compete with that. And you know what? Some of you are sending us testimonies, and thank David Rodwell. How many of you won us at a cookware last year from sending us testimonies? Raise your hands up. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you know how pricelessly valuable those are on our website, guys? And how long does it take, Tim?
No time at all.
No time at all.
Yeah.
You just sit there and say, you know, I'd love to get a video, and I've got it myself, and I got this one from this gal. They love to tell you how much they love something. And you know, if you're a Christian, somebody says, well, tell us about Jesus. Well, the same thing with their cookware. They love their cookware. They have a daily relationship with their cookware twice a day. They're sitting there looking at that knob that says kitchen craft, or that military knob that says, hey, there's somebody that remembered me and cared for me. So this is the most valuable lesson. If you can take this home with you, I think it's probably the best thing you can ever do. It's just remembering how to get that testimony. I got to share this with you because I'm going down to see these people. In 1993, we met Dave Hurley at the South Florida Fair. We were newlyweds at the time, and we were looking for things of quality that we could afford. That's when we discovered Lustracraft. Dave was so dynamic and entertaining. We sat down, listened to Dave's health gospel, ate the chicken, and he had us at hello. I don't know if you get that. He had us at hello. Sherry, you took some pictures of me out here talking to these people. She thought they were part of the company. It was the mother and 2 kids. They weren't part of a company. I had them from hello. They were people. You learn to love people unconditionally. You don't just love people every once in a while. You love people all the time. Wherever you go, you love the people. Like in Japan, you bow for everybody. You love them unconditionally. If you don't, you're in the wrong room. You've got to really learn to love people and care for them. That's what I did. We sat down. Yes.
If we love people, we have to fall in love with the cookware too, because we want them to be in love with the cookware. We have to be in love with the cookware.
You have the same passion for the cookware. That's a little bit of why we're here too, is to renew some of this here. Golly, that's right. I never thought about that. That's a real person that lost the 170 pounds. We sat down many times after that and listened to him so much that we could probably recite his entire program word for word. How many of you have customers like that, Gab? They come back to hear your jokes. Do you realize that we're probably the most positive experience they had all year? It's them and Ted Koppel. You can't compete with that clown. Jiminy Cricket, guys, look at what we're doing with people and changing their lives. Literally helping them through life and reminding them of something positive every day. Right down to the orange liquid from the boiled carrots and the banging of the pot lid. There were many meals that had it not been for the show, we would have not eaten that night. Got that? They came in because they were hungry. And they were poor. And they came to my show to eat. I've had many homeless people that I've fed at my shows that have come back and bought my cookware. Hard to explain, but he was selling more than cookware. He was selling a lifestyle. Since we've been married now for 24 years, and our life has been a beautiful love story, we have 2 healthy kids, and they love cooking and the cookware. And for a few years after, we continued to see the new products that we added onto our set that when we could afford. We stretched those payments beyond, and we love using them every day. Since then, our money has come and gone, just like everyone else's. But the one thing that remains is our pots. Now, who got the good deal? We made a check. We made a commission. We spent. They still got it. It lives on and on and on. The legend lives on from the one quart on down. They are so awesome. Dave is like a member of our family. I hate to tell you this, I don't remember these people. Because they were 17 and 18 when they bought their cookware from us. He always had new ideas and recipes for us. We remember when he was selling the bridal shop and he was leaving the road show behind. We still sat through the shows even though they were done by different people. The legend lives on. They come back to see you for Pete's sake. We always thought of Dave, like he was always said, just set it and forget it. We could say so much more. He is a legend. Still use my Whopper chopper and waterless is wonderful. P.S. Hi, Dave. Most sincerely, Mary Ellen and Nelson Shaw. I want to retire. So all I can do is get in my Jeep with a list of all my customers. I'm going to go to their house and sit on the back porch and get coffee. That's what I want to do with the rest of my life, to be very frank with you. Oh my goodness, here's the rest of the Martin family. Oh, say hi, girls. Come in and happy with me. I got to get it.
She didn't hear you. Hopefully she wants to see you. Hey. Do it again. Oh, she didn't hear you.
I'm so
do it once more.
He was out of town because my granddaughter's got a park in Orlando, and she'd have been there. She'd have taken it. Okay, serious competition. What did I do with these people? I built a relationship. I love the people. I was their mom and pop. I'm still their mom and pop. I have no competition when it comes to that. Now let me see. Oh man, Tim, same thing with you now. Kevin and Linda Brady. By the way, do you have a rough idea when she would expect the cookware to be delivered? This letter was sent before they even got the cookware. About the relationship they had with Tim. Thanks to a professional show. Funny how we just finished our HGTV kitchen and we're looking for some quality pots and pans. We both had been cooking in hand-me-downs and just happened upon your show at the right time. Talk about karma. I've lost 35 pounds recently by eating right and building and remodeling our home. We want to continue eating healthy. I look forward to enjoying cooking and kitchen craft cookware for the rest of our lives. I'm a big believer in buying American, buying items with a lifetime warranty. My socks, darn too, my, whatever that is, toe. My shirts, grunt style, my tools, Craftsman, and now my cookware. Hope they are up to the challenge because Linda breaks everything. That's how we met. I'll save that story for when you visit Vito's in West Chesterfield, Connecticut. You were entertaining a professional, and from one old spark to another, I liked the corny jokes. Take care. This is a legend being built. You understand that? Now when they get their cookware, I don't care if they hate it, they're going to love it because they love him.
I don't like that
They'll
guy.
figure it out. They'll burn a carrot, they'll turn it down, they'll get it done. This is what our business is all about. Oh man, oh man, oh man. This is from Chris Mitchell. We watched the DVD, the host of which really surprised us last night when we got home from Christmas show. It was very heartwarming to see each person thankful for the job for personally buying American products. We're completely on board with our purchase and look forward to paying for and receiving our kitchen craft products. You, your family, your church are truly a blessing to us. We were exactly where God intended us to be yesterday. Thank you again for everything, Chris Mitchell. This is a brand new rep at the Christmas show. He's got passion. You will know his name. If he's not the rookie of the year next year, I don't know how it's going to happen. Am I right? This guy is strong. I see you over there going, yes, yes, yes. She's one of his babies.
Jason.
Who knows this lady by face? Anybody know this lady? Jason Kim. Tell us about her.
This is Mike, and y'all forgive my voice. I'm actually going to the doctor to figure out every time I do a show, I'm losing my voice. So, this is Mike and Agnes. This was at the Kentucky State Fair. They came and introduced themselves to us, and he said he bought his cookware for his bride in 1992. Said he came back to the show every year to buy one more piece. And they sat through the whole show, and he came up at the end of the show and thanked me because he learned something. I don't remember what it was. The next day, they came back again. They watched the show, and Mike went on to shop, go around the fair, and Agnes stayed. Not just through the whole show, but through the whole close. And I had 4 couples, and the 4 couples all bought. And I took time with each one, Kim and I did, and little Miss Agnes is Filipino. She's very hard to understand for me. My wife has the patience, so she would sit and talk to her. We got done, and I went to take a break, and I came back. As I looked back, I noticed Agnes is still sitting in the chairs. So I came back and I asked Kim, I said, why did she stay through not just the demo, but closing for couples? She said, I thought the same thing, and I asked her. She said, the Holy Spirit, I get chill bumps every time we talk about this. The Holy Spirit impressed upon her to stay. And my first reaction was, what? Oh. What none of us realized was we had a couple in that audience that the lady sat and listened to me talk about the cancer-fighting broccoli. And Miss Agnes was talking to all of them, and they were asking her questions. Before she left, this lady said, Jason, I'm buying the cookware hopefully to extend my life. I'm in 10 weeks cancer remission. Wow. Now, if you don't believe in prayer, the next day, I did a 4-hour solid demo. I did not stop. I didn't even know that was possible. But what happened was I would do the demo and I would go over to the closing side and people would join me. And they wanted to know something about the kitchen cutter. So I said, come on, let me show you. And then people would join and it became a full-fledged demo. And I came over to the closing side and this happened for 4 solid hours. I finally took a break. I called Robin with no voice and said, you know, I don't believe this. I just did a 4-hour demo. I looked back in and those chairs were full. I said, Robin, you're not going to believe this. I got to go. The chairs are full. I did it again for 4 solid hours. That next day, Mike and Agnes came and they brought us lunch because we had not had time to stop. They brought Kim a gift. They brought us derby pictures and derby glasses and wow. When I lost my voice, I told my wife, I said, I don't know what we're going to do. I have no voice. You're going to have to put on the microphone. She said, oh, no, I'm not. I just asked her something.
You can do it, Kim.
Let me tell you about prayer. The Holy Spirit impressed upon her to stay, and I had a lady in cancer in the audience. When my voice was gone, I put the microphone on, and I would hold it real close to my mouth, and I said, guys, my voice is gone. I hope that you guys can hear me. We're going to do the best we can to get started this demonstration. And my voice would come back, and I would get it through every single demo. And as soon as I would take that microphone off, Mr. Early, it was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I would turn around and say something to her and go, what I just said, what happened? I looked at her, I said, you've been praying. She said, you know I have, God. You know I can't put that microphone on. So I guess she blessed the microphone.
Wow. Just some people have to have it levitating out of the ceiling, and some people know it doesn't have to be visible to be present. So all you're doing is you're helping people lives. You're doing amazing things. For everybody, no. Is it one little thing? Yes. Like the lady that came up to us at the EA fly-in that couldn't fly because she had heavy metals, who 1 year later has no heavy metals and tested totally metal-free. That is life-changing. The lady said 25 years ago the doctor gave her 2 years to live. And Charlie told her how to cookware, or somebody told her how to cookware, then Charlie told her more cookware, got her testimony. We're changing people's lives one meal at a time. And Brian, that is a slogan. That is a slogan we need to emphasize, because that's exactly, precisely what we're doing. Thank you very, very, very much for sharing. Give this guy's hand. So, something new. And again, I'm always looking for new things. I'm looking for ways to make it better. You guys think I'm a total pain in your butt when you see me out there hiding in the bleachers, or you hear some voice in the back of my phone rings on behind the booth.
Yes.
I'm not there to criticize you. I'm there to help you in any way that I possibly can. But the most important thing I do is I watch people. And I've learned that the most valuable assets that we have are our testimonies. On our website now, we're taking the different ones like the weight loss or lower cholesterol, or who was that guy, Dean? Where's Dean at? Dean, you had to, hello. Another cup of coffee, I'll be fine. You had a guy at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. Boy, and he is so real, it's unreal. I'll tell you what right now, that was the best thing I ever done in all my life. I've dropped my cholesterol 300 points. I've dropped my cholesterol. I was taking 5 minutes, I don't take nothing now. This guy was so real, I can't even tell you. Guess what that will do if we can get that out in the internet world? If somebody puts in Google's lower cholesterol, and that comes up, instead of XYZ medication. Think if somebody that wants to lose weight puts in weight loss, and her testimony came up. That's where I'm going. That's my vision. You understand that? It's going to take a lot of work. The more we have, the more selective we can be, so everyone that you get is hugely valuable to us. Because some of you have had some that's been unbelievable, haven't you? Wouldn't you love to share them? Matter of fact, one of the things I was going to do impromptu, I'd like to do that if I could, please, and as some of you, I believe, were sent on a little note. How many of you got the little notes that you're thinking about your best testimony of the year? Okay. Sal, can you tell us about your best testimony of the year?
I could actually, it's on my phone, but I never sent anything in because I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So why don't you guys just watch it tomorrow or something? Somebody will do that.
Okay, Mike, we're going to get that off from Sal. She's got it. She actually has the video, but she doesn't know how to send it. You need help. You need to sell your flip phone. Okay. This is what I've learned. Okay, now listen carefully. This has changed. Some of you will oppose to this. Some of you will say, oh, I get it. Some of you will get it eventually. This is my best idea. And what this is what I'm proposing as our new review board. Do I do good?
You must pick this up.
Okay. Do not put the wok on there, it's too heavy. Okay, here we go. Now I got it. There we go. Thank you, sir. Put a 1 chord. There we go, or an 8 inch, something like that. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. What I did is I watched. Some people are very reluctant to put their information on that sheet, aren't they? Maybe, or maybe just you are, so you think they are, and you're sending the message to them and don't even know it. So I said, why don't we do this? So on the front of this, how long have you had your set, ma'am? 40 years. Go ahead and fake for me, would you say?
46 years.
46 years. Holy cow, do me a favor. I want you to fill this out to let us know how you like your cookware. Now she fills this out. And if you see her on the left, it says, I love my waterless cookware. And you want to give her a marker, something that you can see it from a distance. Because the better they can see it, the better off you are. Maybe a felt tip or something like that. So that she has Susie Smith, age of cookware, 46 years, price if known, $500, comments. I love it. Best investment I ever made. Got that? Now that's what you see on the board. By the way, Susie, do me a favor. This is just for us, so our information, so we can let you know if you ever need her. Fill out the backside as well. Make sure you put your name, address, city, phone, email. Now she goes into our database. You got that? Now listen carefully. Chuck and Monica, you guys have been contacting some of those customers that have been left astray and left alone. What have your results been? Have you sent out some mailers, or what do you do?
Yes, and we're inviting them to our show.
You're inviting them to your shows, and some of them are fun.
And they buy cookware.
They come back and buy cookware. We sell cookware at every show. From somebody we sent an email to or sent a letter to.
I gotta hear this. You gotta hear this. This is critical.
And again, we're not selling the works, but we are selling Christmas and some works to people that come back to our show that we've invited. And we like, because again, exactly what he's talking about, you know, why do we want those people in our shows? I want them there for my testimony, first of all. Come back and invite a friend and sit down and show the show, I'll give you a free gift. And I want them for testimony, but they end up coming back. And every show, we do sell more cookware to people that we invite back to our show. Wow. And it's the time that Monica really puts in to write a handwritten letter. She cheats. She makes one, photocopies it, and and she will mail out to all the people that we sold cookware to. And then we do send out emails to everybody that's bought cookware in our area in the last 5-10 years, and that way we can have testimonies and self-report.
But that thing that he's doing when you're embedding those videos into that email, which I just saw the other day from you.
That's different, yeah.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
Videos, like testimonies.
Well, did you see what he's doing? You were copied on that, I think.
He hasn't seen that yet.
It is amazing what he's doing, and I want to talk more about that too.
We'll positively hear about that because we're looking for new ideas, right? Now, listen to me very carefully, please. Let's say you're working in Salem, Oregon, and Mike and Lana Smith have retired. And they have. And they say hi to everybody. They still want to help us out with some recruiting and what have you. They worked with us for years and years. And Leroy Penny is retired. And we took those customers and we sent them an email saying, don't miss Brett and Lena at the Oregon State Fair. And blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's good. But how about that lady that bought it 40 years ago or 46 years ago that we don't have in that database? She's the most powerful testimony on earth. This is unbelievable. I mean, this is the disciple of Kitchencraft. But the only way we can get them is if we get this information from you guys, then we put them into the database, and the database sends out a mailer to all the customers a year where you're doing a show, even the ones who bought it 45 years ago. Now they come to see you. Not only do they buy more, but we put suggestive hints in your October, November shows to buy sets for their kids. And we put together a special set just for their kids for $12.95 without the gifts that you get to write and you earn the commission from. But if you don't participate, we're not going to help you. Because we have folks that retire, and their customers are feeling completely neglected. And this is like if you call Kim up and say, hey, you want to go out to dinner? And say, yeah, I'm going to go out to dinner, everything's great. Say, well, I'll see you next week. Then he calls you a year later. How do you feel? You smug.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing to our customers. That's not going to happen anymore. We're going to take care of those customers. Charlie.
You were asking about some of our testimonies and some of our experiences. One came to mind, there's so many that we have, but one recently came to mind is, again, we sent out the mailer. The lady said she received an email because she bought cookware from Kitchencraft in the past years. Not from me, but from Kitchencraft. She did come to my show in the last 3-4 years that I've been working and bought a piece for me, and so she got a handwritten letter. Her and her husband came by the show and just to say hi. And she didn't have the letter, she didn't have the email, but she mentioned it to me. And so I said, yeah, great, I'm going to give you a free gift, and good to see you, and we chatted for a little while. And, I was trying to get her to come in and watch on my demonstration. Oh, no, I seen your show, I own your cookware. And some other lady came by and talked about how she owned her cookware. And by the end of the demo, the lady stayed for the whole demonstration. And I'm not really sure why she bought another set of cookware. But she bought another set of cookware at that demo. And she didn't even know why she bought cookware, to be frank with you, because she owned her cookware for something 20 years and bought another piece throughout the years. But she said, you know what? I said, well, maybe you want to give this set to your daughter. She goes, no, I'm going to keep both sets. So it does sell cookware.
Don't question God.
Yeah.
Why did she buy another set of cookware when she just told him, well, why did I buy another set of Cutco for my grandson Logan? How many of you got called by Logan?
We buy.
Thank you for the orders that you placed. I love him. He ended up one of the top reps. He took his trip. He works every night. Brian, do you ever see him? I mean, he literally is working all the time, and every Sunday they have to go to the office and make calls. They have 4 meetings a week that they have to go to. What if we put you through that same course? You'd probably sell something too. Why did I buy another set of cutco for my grandson? Because I have a relationship with him. Why did she buy another set of cookware? Because she has a relationship. So now I'm double happy with my cutco, and she's going to be double happy with the cookware.
Hey, Mr. Hurley, I want to just say something, if you don't mind, about this right here. In your close, if you don't happen to get a testimony, that's your testimony to pull, because somebody just filled it out.
This is your testimony when they're missing.
When you can't have it in that close, I go to that every time.
The book-
So you technically have a testimony every close.
The book was too small. The big sheets of paper you can't read. I think this will work. And if you have more than this in one show, I think it's an exaggeration that they can't quite get over. It's almost too much. So you take your best. At the end of the night, if you just got another one that bought it 50 years ago and paid $500 for it, put it right there in the front. Then you can position. Put the first one up yourself. Take your best one from your last show and put it at the top. That way they know what to put. You want to put, I love it, it's the best investment I've got. And if somebody leaves a blank, it's what they all do. They leave a blank. Okay, so program them a little bit. Help them out if that makes any sense. Do you like the idea?
Yes.
Well, guess what else I'm doing with it? Yes, Kate, I see you. By the way, if Mrs. Testimony stick with me, I guess I'm going to feel like we're giving away a 4-day cruise to the Bahamas, and I want to get you in on the drawing. Because I want to give a 4-day cruise away and have a drawing at the end of the year from these coupons as they come in. So we're giving her an incentive to stick around. We're giving away a 4-day cruise to the Bahamas, and I want you to get in on the drawing, so stick with me. Now she fills out the backside, and it's all the pertinent information that we need. If she needs any service, this, that, or whatever the case might be. Now she goes in the database, and when Cindy and Sandy go to the New Orleans home show, we take everybody in New Orleans that were sold by anybody, whatever, that was sold 40, 50 years ago, and now we're going to reap the rewards. And we're going to have their testimonies. That's the concept. That's what I'm doing, and that's what I hope to have implemented, so as I'm hiding in the bleachers this next year, I'll see all of these out in your shows. Yes, Kate?
That's what I was going to ask.
Oh, yeah. This is fresh off the press. It'll be there by January 1 at the latest. Yes, sir?
When you finally do pull the card for whoever wins the show,
yes,
does their salesman get to go with it?
No, the sales rep does not go with the
Oh.
Good that. Oh, Dan. And especially, we can't take your whole family. We'd be in trouble. Okay, this is a very huge lesson here. I asked what you want to learn. Listen carefully to what I'm going to teach you here. We purchased our cookware set 4 years ago, and I wish we had purchased it 10 years earlier. This is how long we kept looking at Kitchencraft at every type of annual fair or event. Do you guys get that? Every event that we were at, they came and watched. Why would they do that? Why in the world would they just keep coming back and watching our show, Holly? Any reason in the world you can think of? I mean, are we roadies? Are we Elvis? Whatever, because we're fun? Why would they come back and watch our show again and again and again?
Justification.
Pardon? They want it. To learn more. Okay. Robin just said they got a tinkle. Okay. All right. Every few years, the price would adjust, and we would always say, I wish we would have bought it earlier when it was at the other price. Well, we finally purchased and have loved it from day one. It's absolutely the best cookware we've ever owned. Thinking about all those other brands of cookware we bought over those 10 years, we could have easily invested in 2 sets of Kitchencraft. I encourage anyone who visits the demos and wish they had a set to do yourself a favor and buy. Even if we only get 1 pot, you won't regret it, and you will never look at another brand of cookware again. Isn't that beautiful? That's what this is all about. Okay. Now, I've got like 10 minutes. This lady was next to me at the campers reunion thing where I was recruiting. She bought her cookware 70 years ago. They're joining the team. They're going to be selling cookware out of their RV. Matter of fact, she is, by the way, almost 19 years old.
Oh, Lord.
And I want you to look at this. You saw her. You knew her, didn't you guys? Yeah. Nikki, you met her. I mean, she was there working next to me, and she said, I've had this for 70 years. And she bought it when she was 18 for her home chest before she got married.
She looks great.
Is that amazing? Earning your tips. Okay, guys, I got to hurry up, so I'm going to go through this. I'm going to tell you right now, you are no different than a server at a fine restaurant. How many times have you gone to Burger King and said, you did so good handing me that hamburger, I'm going to give you a tip? If you're producing Burger King demonstrations, you're not going to get a tip. And the way I broke this down is to really show you exactly what I'm talking about. Add gratuity, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30%. Okay, and here's a new computer here. It says, here, give me a tip for just handing you my soup. Well, I broke it down. Okay, our classic set is $9.95. You got that? We're going to reduce our prices. Wait, notice how quiet it just got?
Whoa.
Where? It says only $9.95. Well, wait a minute, no. The nice guy gift is $2.79. Now, here's how you're going to have to fill out the order forms from now on. The set's $9.95, but there's a $2.79 kitchen cutter because I'm a nice guy. There's a nice guy gourmet cooker. I'm going to give you something that makes it $6.63, and then I want a tip. Here's my tip. I want $336 for my tip. Would you get it? Did you earn it?
No.
Our top producers
we earned it.
do. Sal, you earn a tip. Yes, can they go online and buy it for less? I'm going to show you something, guys. I'm going to take this all the way through. As a matter of fact, we took all of our costs and expenses. Now we got a show cost. Oh, by the way, we got to pay $359 to this guy that produced the show, $239 for the administrative costs, the utilities, the this, that, everything under the sun, the 2.5% on our credit card discount, et cetera, et cetera. Matter of fact, Mr. Jones, you can buy this for only $769. Matter of fact, you want to see something amazing? This is what Google Landings looked like at the end of our September. Guess where we are? State Fair, Texas. The California shows. The only time people go online to find us is when we're there, we're educating, we're getting their attention. But then who's out there? These guys. VapoSeal. They own the top of all the junk. And by the way, this is their office, their warehouse, their distribution center. It's in nowhere in a barn. They live in a house trailer. He's a construction worker and she's a bookkeeper at a car dealership. And then they come home at night and take your orders. And they sell it. For how much? $695 for their set of Chinese cookware. Now I could go on and on and on. What if you were disclosing everything, okay? And you had to make it $19.95. So that means that you have got to be able to be strong enough to earn that tip. And our top people, they earn the tip. Have you ever been to a nice restaurant? You give what? 5%? You cheapskate. Germans don't give anything. We were in Japan. How many tips did we give, Captain Paul? 0. Tipping in Japan is an insult. They don't want to be tipped. But if you go to a fine restaurant, you're going to give 20, 25%. So what happens here, guys, by the way, I don't want to, because I am conscientious of time, and thank you, Robin, but you know, we talk about tax and shipping and different things such as this, and should we charge it? This was so funny. I'm flying into Buffalo, and as I'm flying in, I was told by air traffic control that I needed to extend my downwind because there was 2 regional jets in front of me, okay? So I extended. And little did I know that I had flown into Canadian airspace, and I got a bill for $16 from Canada. Here it is, right here. $16 for 3 seconds in Canadian airspace. And you're afraid to ask for shipping? $16 for Canadian airspace, okay? And then I get this thing, it's called the flow fee, 100 low lead. They charge me, what was it, $7 or something like that for a flow fee. And there's so many charges, and rent a car, you want to see something really scary. So here's what I'm doing. On the individual pieces, and I'm doing this for a reason, we're going to have a set that they can buy online. And it's going to be like $24.95. And it's going to be called the Classic Plus, for example. This is what we're trying. If it doesn't work, I'll try something else until it does work, okay? And to unlock exclusive owner specials, they put in your code, or to purchase, enter your exclusive owner special, or call 800-800-2850. Our customer service department will then design, well, where are we at? Well, we were at the Salem Home Show, okay? Well, who do you talk to? Well, I talked to Brett and Lena, okay? Well, good. Yes, if you'd like to go ahead and place your order, you can. Here's the price. Then Brett and Lena get a check. That makes sense? So they've either got to call, or they have to already be an owner and put in an owner special. That's the direction I'm trying to get all this to go. So then, that $430 10-inch freedom field goes down to $309 if they have the code. Does that make sense? Okay? And that's the only way they can get there. The new set configuration. 9-piece family set. Thank Cabin and Phil, the 8-quart is now part of the family sets. Got that? I learned in my observations as I traveled the country, something else though. The forecourt is an amazing piece of cookware. Mike Weil says that's all he ever uses at home. I'm cooking for 15 people because you're not putting water. The forecourt does a great job. So we noticed that there was a certain people that wanted the sixth court, but it was not as strong as we thought it would be. Did some of you experience that same thing? You know what I'm talking about? I drove in, yeah, see. So consequently, I'm going to make a couple of changes. We're going to have also, as a trial for the first 90 days this year, a new Healthy Start. I've had people nonstop say, wow, where's there a place they can start besides $19.95 or whatever? So the Healthy Start is going to be a 9-inch saute and a 1-quart cover for $3.95. The person is just starting, the person that just can't quite swing this or that or whatever the case might be, will be an opportunity for them to have a Healthy Start. What'd you say, Charlie?
It's the 8.5-inch saute, right? Yeah. We don't have a 9. Is that Mike's era? Okay,
well,
that's right.
No, we're
sorry,
making,
Mike.
We're making a change too. 8.5 is hard to say, 9 is easy. So we're going to go, because it is 9 inches from the top, from one side to the other side. So we're going to go ahead and use the terminology 9 and 12. 8, 9, and 12. Okay? Because the half seems to create confusion. People
No, it's the one
mental
above it.
confusion.
7 inches, 8.5. Yeah.
7, 9, and 12? 7, 9, 10, and 12.
Yes. You'll get it. It's not difficult. Now listen carefully. This is Charlie's always messing with somebody's head.
He's a detail guy.
Not difficult. All right, listen carefully. This is big. When you run out of brochures, this is the new brochure for 2019. Notice, if you will, I'm trying to simplify. The reason I'm simplifying is people are more easily confused than ever before today because of the technology. They get confused. How many of you have actually noticed that in your own thinking trends? I have. Now you say you're getting old, babe. No, I'm not. No, people get confused easier. So what I did is I took out the confusion of that bottom set.
Better.
You understand what I'm saying? So now, it's very simply, here's the classic set. It's bigger, more attractive. I'm also working on a complete fold-out 11 by 17 brochure that I'll be introducing hopefully in January. Here's the family set. Everybody see that? So Mary, if you put them both together, that's called the deluxe set. Can everybody see that and understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's simple, easy, classic, family, and deluxe. Everybody got that? Now folks, if you want to get everything you see up here, it's called the works. You turn it over, and there's the works. Does everybody see that? Everybody understand that? I think it's simple, easy, short line, no problem. That way, 1, 2, 3, or 4, that's the choices. There's nothing to confuse them. I'm trying to remove all the refusal. Here, confusion, I'm confused, sorry about that. Here are the options, but notice, if you will, I took the 6-quart off against some people's feelings, and there's a reason I took the 6-quart off. The 6-quart has to be priced at a very large price, and people, as I watch from a distance, when they see the price, they're either going to go into sticker shock or they're going to buy into it, one or the other, all right? And I saw them going into sticker shock. So what we're going to propose, and we will announce this officially within the next 14, 15 days, I would like to see us reduce the price. And I'd also like to comply with Sal. Robin, wait, whoa, guys. You want to confuse your audience. That's the best way to do it. Don't give them anything to read, Robin. No?
What about
By the way,
Mike?
how many of you have seen that? You give them the clipboard, you've lost their attention. Take those back. I don't want them to be confused. I don't want them to miss something here, okay? So you give them Robin's frozen them tracks over there, okay? Simply because if you pass them out, we will not be able to keep their attention, all right? Because there's more to these pages than what you see here. Here's what's going to be online. We're going to call that the Classic Plus Set, $26.95. Now, if you look at that, guys, that's a lot of cookware. And you notice it's also got a slow cooker in it. And that's called the Classic Plus, $26.95. And when you look at that much, you know, if you were a new guy thinking about working for the company, you say, wow, that's a lot of cookware. It's a lot of money, but it's a lot of cookware. Then we got our Family Set Plus, $28.95. Now this might be adjusted. We still have to work. Mike and I are working on this diligently to get everything just perfectly right. And then we have our Deluxe Set, $38.95.
Still no cover.
So folks, yes, you can buy this online. It's going to cost you a little bit more, but it's worth it. If you don't get it from me, get it online. How many of you have people right during your shows that they're texting and looking and pricing and shopping, et cetera, constantly? You ought to be up there in the bleachers watching with binoculars. Guys, in fact, I'd like to start videoing some of the things I see from a distance that you don't see. Because then you learn your audience, you learn how to deal with your audience, okay? And then the work's $56.95 for the whole entire company. Got that? All right. So this is what will be online. So you can say, now folks, you want to get online, you can. It's going to cost you more. And you're not going to get the kitchen cutter. You're going to get certain things. But there's a huge value there. That's what I'm trying to build, is that there's a value there. Now, guess what? Guys, listen very carefully. We're getting people buying our cookware online and paying full retail for it. Every week. We get this. People that bought it 40, 50 years ago, go online, they find it, they don't care what they have to pay. They're buying it, no gifts, no nothing, etc., etc. We want to stop that. We want them to, when they call or to get a code and they live in Chicago, we then give that to Sal. Sam. I got it. Or they give it to Steve in Phoenix, okay? So that's what we're trying to accomplish, where we're going to try to go. Now, if I open this up for questions, we'll have the rest of our day eaten up with questions. So you're going to have to trust that what I'm doing is valid, and I'm trying to simplify it and make it easier. But here's what I'd like to propose doing. And this is almost agreed upon. Mike, help me out if I get in trouble here. I would like to see us reduce the price of the classic set to $18.95. I'll tell you why. There's something about $19.95 is $2,000. And I've watched the people shut down. Frankly, I was after $17.95. He said, wait a minute, we've had increases in steel like you can't believe, et cetera, but at the same time, I want to promote when things happen. Consequently, what I'd like to do, I'd like to go $18.95, and then you have some options. Those options are to give them a 1 quart, thank you, Sam, or excuse me, Sam, to give them a 7-inch skillet, or to give them a piece of bakeware, or to let them bump up from a 10 to a 12 or whatever. Or if you need to be able to give them a free shipping. And consequently, then to be able to give the 4-quart slow cooker, if they want the 6-quart, do like we used to do, and add $100, whatever it was for the upgrade, you receive commission on that. The only thing is that you're being paid, because we're giving those other options away, as it is you're being paid at $18.95 or whatever it is, so we can't pay commission on the $100 that we're giving away. So Mike is working on the actual details of this to be able to give you that option to bargain if you need to close. I think it'll be good. Go ahead, Sal and Sam. Yeah, Cap says boo. All right. So you guys are having lunch together tomorrow. So bottom line, we have to be very, very careful if we do this. Because that new guy, which we have some in here, not knowing better, just starts giving things away and throwing things away. Next thing you know, he's not earning anything because he's giving away half the company. So that's what Mike's going to be putting together in a manual. This manual will be coming out to you guys within the next 2 weeks. It will show you exactly and precisely what you can and what our actual pricing is going to be. The reason we can't give it to you now, but we do not know what our projected prices are and will not for about another 2 weeks until the steel companies announce what our steel prices are going to be. Because everything is in limbo right now, okay? Yes, sir?
I'm going to ask a rookie question since all the new stuff is coming out. My old catalogs had a place on the back for our information. And the new ones don't, and neither do the brochures.
Good point. Sherry, or somebody make a note. There's no place on the brochure for them to put their personal information. Frankly, I never wanted to give them my personal information on the brochure.
I like it on the back of the catalog.
On the catalog, yes, we need to make that. But to put it on the brochure, there's, oh, well, I got your information here, I'll call you, whatever. If you want to do it, let's move that up on the back to be able to have a place for you to put your personal information. But you got to be really careful. Well, you got a card, don't you? I've never had a card in my life. I've never had a card at a show. Never, ever have I had a card. They say, do you have a card? Ma'am, I have a card. If you don't get it today, why would you get it tomorrow? And I hate to have my heart broken because I give people a card, they promise me they're going to call, and then he never does.
Yeah.
So rather than me having my heart broken, if you don't want it, it's no problem. If you do want it, now's the best time to get it. And I will close so many orders just by saying what you deserve right there. You know, so I can try to finish up, Robin. I've probably got, what, minus 10 minutes?
Oh, we're a break at 3 o'clock, so we're taking a break at 3, because you've got another hour.
I'm on Florida time. Okay. I did this for a reason. Get ready for this. Everybody here, listen to me. If you remember about how many years ago it was, I said you need to be prepared. People didn't listen to me. And trust me, it's going to change. And if you got in a little airplane, you start flying, you're climbing. You just keep climbing and climbing and climbing. What's eventually going to happen? Pardon?
What
David?
goes up must stall.
You're going to stall? No, as long as you got power to it.
Well, you get as high as it'll go and you'll stop.
You just keep going, what's going to happen?
Run out
You're going to run out of gas. You're going to crash. Okay? Our economy will come down. It will balance itself. It will correct itself. It has to. It is inevitable. It's got to do it. Yes, sir?
I did have a customer that bought a set that asked for a card, and I found her didn't have any. They bought
He just said he had a customer ask for a card, said didn't have any when they had bought. If you give them a card, it's way out. Keep them in it. They want it. Yeah, absolutely positive. They were from Alabama. That's exciting. Let's see how high we can go before running out of gas. Folks, I'm already seeing little touches of it right now. I'm seeing overbuilding. I was talking to Steve Desley, and he said that in Phoenix right now, his wife sells real estate, and all of a sudden, everything is going dead. Same thing in Florida. They're running out of inventory as far as that's concerned, but they're afraid to build more. How many of you have seen billboard now? It says zero down housing. Remember that back in 2008 when we fell off a cliff?
It's back.
Don't eat your seed corn. It will happen within the next 24 months. It's fine. We need it. Otherwise, you know, we just can't keep going and going and going. Guess what? I love recessions. Our business booms during recessionary times because people do eat at home. They do be conservative. They do want to buy quality that's going to last them forever. So just be prepared for it. Start saving money. If you don't have a savings account, you better get one. Okay, another new subject. Listen very carefully. Now I've got to introduce this very precautiously. Cheryl, thank you so much for being our test pilot. I try to test everything before I do. What if there was no cancellation? There's that moment of silence again.
You're talking about the 3-day?
Yeah, what if there was no 3-day cancellation? That'd be good, bad, indifferent.
Indifferent.
Okay. Well, how about 65% less cancellations with no cancellation? Cheryl, that was the actual statistics.
I like the clothes that people buy on emotion, and then they got the 3 days to cancel. So
Are you talking about 30 days after they've gotten their cookware?
Now listen very carefully. The first thing you're going to do is think you're a victim. You're going to think, oh my God, the world's ending. No, it's not. I think things through. I don't do stupid things, or I wouldn't be up here talking to you. You'd be talking to me. I do make mistakes. But let me ask you this. How many people that buy the cookware, they're on the way home, they think, oh, I don't know, well, yeah, we got to cancel this within 3 days, honey. We got to cancel it 3 days.
Yes.
You know, we better cancel it right now. All of a sudden, you just set up an urgency and a thought process.
Oh my God, oh my God,
Oh my God, oh my God. I've only got 3 days, and honey, well, what if we don't like it? What if we this or that, or whatever the case might be? And what I'd like to experiment with further is in Cheryl's behalf. If somebody a week later called us up and said, Deb, I don't want this, or 2 weeks later said, I don't want this, we cheerfully took it back. But now listen very carefully. I'm too. And that was it. So do we risk 100%, only of 2, versus how many, and it was a 14-to-2 ratio based on exact results the year before. The year before she had 14 cancellations. This year she had 2 cancellations, but they were after the 3 days. I ate the cookware, and we had on the back of it, they even had the restocking fee, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and it was that they could change it, they could exchange it, but not particularly cancel it. And we think we're going to try to introduce that on our newest order forms. We do not by law have to give them 3 days to cancel. In certain states, they say if you don't have a permanent address, then that is considered a temporary business, and you do. But if we give them 30 days to return it, Now they feel relaxed. Well, look, honey, we can give it a try. And, you know, if we don't like it, we can send it back. Is that not where you want to be today, consumer?
Yes, yes.
It's almost puppy dog selling.
It's puppy dog selling. Try the puppy out. If you don't like the puppy, you can bring back money.
Never happened.
You know, I'm sure the kids won't mind. Cash is saying, no, I'm going to keep that puppy, all right? Now, I don't know if you guys get this or not, but what I'm thinking, and what we proved with Cheryl testing this, and Tim, did you test this on too? I don't think you did.
No.
Okay. Cheryl did, and thank you again very much. And she, by that 65%, probably earned a few thousand extra dollars. Now that means that it might be 30 days later that one might go south. But I would much rather have one 30 days later as 10 3 days later, wouldn't you? So that's what we're going to try to do. Now the other thing though, Cap Benefield, every hour you were getting a call or a text from one of your customers while we're in Japan. And it was either, how do I do potatoes? And one guy was, and what happened with the guy, by the way, that was wanting to fry potatoes, Cap? Can you share that with us, please? Remember the guy, I think, was it the guy that was trying to fry potatoes, taught him how to fry potatoes, and he bought some more?
Share it, please. Well, quick story is, prior customer, his wife had cancer, got cancer, and he had delegated all the cooking and doesn't know how to cook. And so he had lots of questions. How to use the cookware. Because he had never really been in the kitchen, as I understand. So just kind of walking him through how to do some things, and they came out wonderfully. And so we're just on cookware.
Wow.
Customer service pays, it doesn't cost. But that means that I'm going to need all of you to review a manual on customer service and know how to take care of that person that has an egg that sticks or potatoes that don't fry. Because if you do, you make them happy. So we just, I bought this 3 weeks ago, and you know, we love cookware, but we're going to return it because we just have a hard time with hash browns. Well, let me help you. And Kat and I, I'll never forget this, we're in Tokyo, we're talking about Dave, he says, I didn't do hash browns. I said, well, there's using too much heat, and tell them this and that. They did what they were supposed to do, and they called back, and they loved it and bought more. So, that's where we hope to go with this. Now, in restraints of time, I don't want you to dwell on this. It's a positive thing. Because what if you could reduce your cancellation to 60%? That would help everybody, trust me, and that's what we're trying to do. Yes, sir?
I'd like to add one real quick. Again, I love telling stories. Quick story, I was doing a show this year. A gentleman sitting in the audience with his wife, knew all the answers, shook his head to everything, really excited the whole time. Bought the cookware, and he told me at the end that, and I think I shared it with the office, is that he bought the cookware last year and canceled. Came back this year, watched the show, and bought it this year. And the reason he said that he bought it, on top of the fact he loved the cookware, was that when he called customer service and said, I need to cancel, they said, okay, no problem, full refund. He said he was impressed with our company service at the office that said, no problem, you can cancel, and we canceled, gave him a refund, but he bought it the next year.
We have a new consumer, Charlie, and you can't force anything down their throat. You've got to be ever so sensitive, and that's where we've got to go, and that's where I'm going with this. Now, I have something else up here I want to show you. This I got from Richard and Sylvia Camper. Who remembers the Campers? They retired, worked with us for 20 years. Remember Fetching? That was disclosed. The guy said, I just don't think I'm going to get this for you. He said, do me a favor. You know what fetch means? He said, well, I think so. He said, then fetch your credit card and get this for her right now, if you really love her. And she bought But they had a note, and similar to what Monica's doing, because they used the same marker each time. Thank you so much for letting me help you, blah, blah, blah. Thanks, Cecilia. And then every night, they would fill in Dear Mary and John and date it with the same pen. And they would post it. And they would send it to them. That night, they would get it 90% of the time the next morning. Guess what their cancellations were? 0.04%. Less than 0.5%. Company average is 8.5%. Guys, does that make sense? That little note. And think about it. If you have 8% cancellation, you have a $500,000 a year, that's $40,000 of business. If you're in 25, 30% with bonuses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that's a lot of money. That'll make a house payment, a car payment on a Ferrari and a boat. I believe I would send these little handwritten notes if I were you. It would be the best 10 minutes you've ever spent. Okay. That was actually how I had it written out. I'm not going to take all the time, but it basically says that we do offer in-store credit for exchange of any items not used within 7 days, et cetera, and we're going to be working on that a little bit further. Education. Wow. I think this is almost Mr. Nicholas. Am I correct, Robin? But we're supposed to take a break? No? Okay, I can't keep up with myself. Gee whiz. And that's me in front of my house with no running water back in 1968. And this book that I want to give you is called Message to Garcia. And this book is a true story. It was the #2 selling book in the entire world. And I'm not going to take the time to go through all the details, but the bottom line was this. Sal, I need you to take a message to Garcia. She says, who's Garcia? Sorry. Dean, I need you to take a message to Garcia. Where is he? Thank you. I need you to take a message to Garcia. What's the message? I need you to take a message to Garcia. Yes, sir. No excuses, sir. That's the real bottom line. And when I started, again, 47 years ago, I took a message to Garcia because I didn't know how to do these things. Well, you have all the answers if you guys will just look. This book is one of the most valuable little books I've ever read. It's 10 pages. You can read it in 10 minutes. And it's the neatest little book you've ever had. And Robin, I am going to let you pass these out when we take the break. Because we give it to him now that we have reading books. Okay. So that in the brochure as well, okay? Guys, I don't think we're thinking. We're not really using our common sense. Because we can overcome most of our problems and objections on our own if we will just think them through and have the confidence to do so. And you can find Garcia without asking where he is or what the message is or how to find him. And that's exactly what this is about, something I want you guys to start doing at your shows. Because Cheryl, like you said, every show is different. Every audience is different. Start thinking. Stop sitting there giving a memorized script and start thinking about your audience and tuning into the audience. Be the best thing you ever did for them and for yourself as well. Well, I could go on and on. I'm out of time. The competition, I've got to do this. Who is your competition today? By the way, Lifetime's down to 2 reps. Dan Brooks and Scott Andy out in Colorado. We don't expect the brand to even survive, to be very frank with you. And if you don't know, this guy, Brooks, is a monster.
Oh, Lord.
If you don't know his reputation, I don't want to share it. And what I'm going to do here is, whoops, we lost everything. Tim, did you have to?
No, the power's on. Power's on.
I'm sorry. I did it. What did I do? Mike, is it break time? I think it's break time, guys.
Yeah. Oh, you're back, Dave.
Quick 10-minute break. The rest of us are right out. We're going to take a quick break because this is very important. We'll see if we can get this thing come back up. Thank you, Tim.
Dave. Yeah.